What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, February 2nd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Man, we have a packed show. This is our last day of NHL action before the All-Star break. We have Mr. Gogster joining us, and I need this. First off, I need a winning night in NHL. It's not going well. 2-3 last night. Very, very frustrating. I didn't move on the under 1.5 at plus 155 in Arizona, Colorado. The night started off poorly. Boston Bruins were up 2-0 going to the third period and got me right in ye old prison pocket. Frustrating. The Florida Rangers under 6.5. I still think, I was watching that game. I felt like it was the right spot. Then Capitals beat the Penguins in overtime. Nashville -1 cashed. Calgary, Dallas over 5.5 cashed, which was kind of bittersweet for my Dallas futures, but at least I knew enough not to bet on Dallas. In NBA, other side of the coin, we're running well. We're on a 40-20 run, up 17.83 units, and thank God. And in all honesty, it's one of the most important runs of my career because NHL's been falling apart. I mean, I can't be losing at both those sports at the same time. And I love the NBA. And I want to cap the NBA with confidence, and it's too early in the year to fall apart. So it's been a very, very important run. We cashed the Bucks first quarter -3.5, the Wizards first quarter team total under 27.5, Orlando team total over 107.5, and Minnesota -4. All easy cashers. Now Milwaukee only won the first quarter by 4, but they were way ahead and kind of took the foot off the gas pedal. But those were all easy cashers. And then Spurs +2.5. How did that not cash? I mean, that was really tough to watch. And then the Heat +100 money line. Pistol P. Loshak cashes the Heat first quarter and first half, and then I lose on the full game. So it was a frustrating night. It was a winning night, but not by much. We ended up in the black. But we have a huge show for you today. We have Mr. Gogster. Mr. Gogster and I both want to hit NHL hard before we go into the All-Star break. Then we have Maxwell Smart coming off yet another winning night. Max is rolling, right? Last night he went 3-1 plus 2.75 units. North Carolina, he cheated to -6.5 at plus 140. They won by 7. That's how you know you're hot. Providence +135 outright winner. He's rolling. And Derl has hit 16 of his last 17 spread bets on the show. So, the most important thing is us, not me. It's us. And we are doing very well. I need to get my shit together in NHL or I'm going to lose it. A Real Deal Prime in the house. Great to see you there, Sammy Comer, North Ender, Vipe, Michael Ervelina, Jordy Nordman. Great to see Jordy. Have not seen enough of you, big guy. Great to have you. Damon Santori, Ryan Kozlowski, Nut Flush Allen. What a great, great group. The Sweaty Butcher in the house. Polly Walnuts. Serious business. Let's get to work. There's Dennis Garcia. And there he is, nuke worker from Darlington Nuclear. 7 days left. 7 days left until retirement, nuke worker. Congratulations. You deserve that. There's T-Mac ready to go. Slatsy 4-2 last night. Don't love today's card, but bet wild and regulation team total. I like today's card, but we need to, if it's Phoenix Copley in net for Washington, I'm going to be nervous about my bet. If it's Phoenix Copley, if they bring him in from Hershey, Phoenix Copley, the 30-year-old journeyman from the North Pole, Alaska, for whatever reason, it's not North Pole Alaska stuff, but just these older journeymen. And this guy has played in the NHL since 2018. I'll see if Gogster knows if he's going to be in net. But if he's in net, I'm going to be a little concerned. A little concerned. All right, Jay Peasy ready to go. There's Mark Schillingberg. Danzo says Coyote Ugly. Wow, plus 450. There's Razor Sharp Picks in the house. You got to see his Friday night racing show. It is so much fun. So much fun. Nut Flush, Alan, James S. What a great group. There's Clint Star, the Die Hard MMA podcast. Danny Lopez. Great group. Thank you guys all for rolling with us. JW, Cashman19 will be rolling with us in San Antonio. Henry Dice. There's Leonard Porsche. Nice day. Yeah, Preds -1. The Predator. Some of our breakdowns yesterday were really, really strong. The Preds Canucks was one of them. Boob says, who are your favorite teams? I have one favorite team. Well, the Canucks. And then, then the Raptors are far below. But I have one favorite team. It's the Vancouver Canucks, and it's been horrifying. It's been terrible. It's been very, very sad. Very, very sad. Mikey P. There's Brent Bibby with the $20 dono to get us rolling. Brent, thank you so much for your support. It means so much to us, man. We're so proud of being here at Pop Sports Radio. And, we're never going to sell you anything. We just want to cap with you and win with you, and it means the world that you support us. There's Twate Latte. Brent Bibby, thank you. Big show. What a great group. Brent Hunt, Joseph Gomez. And Clint, how about your Coyotes? And there's Twate Latte. Wow, you guys are the best. Brent says, thanks, Jimmy, for assembling such great guests. Running good. Let's keep it up. I love that. There is Twate Latte in the house. Okay, I love you guys. Thank you all for joining us. Let's get right to work. The most important things right now is you can watch us on our website, pubsportsradio.com, and we'd love it if you did. It would be a great way of supporting us as well. We're doing a lot of things to our website. You can watch right on YouTube on our website, and you can comment in the chat. And we're doing a lot of things with our website, and it would mean a ton of us if you guys jump over there whenever you can. Also, San Antonio, baby. Everybody's locking in their tickets, and your next guest will be with me on the flight the morning of the 22nd. We're going to get in early because it's Teese's 50th birthday. He's flying in from Philly. That's going to get messy. Please welcome to the show the pride of Belleville, Ontario. I would guess the only place, I can't even say that. I can't say. I was going to say the only place shittier in Parkdale, but I can't say that. It's not shittier in Parkdale. It's not. Probably a lot nicer in Parkdale. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Gogster. Gogster, how are you?
What's going on, guys? Thanks so much for that intro, Jimmy. Belleville, Ontario, guys, you ever make your trip off the 401? Not the worst place, but watch out for the hobos, Jim. Right off the side of the road, they'll get you. They think they're going for a coin or two. Next thing you know, they're in the back of your seat if your doors aren't locked. So just be careful when you're here, guys. But anyway, lovely to be here, guys. I appreciate it. Parkdale, one day, maybe I'll be there overnight or something there, Jimmy, with you. We'll see how it is, and we'll do a comparison to Parkdale to Belleville. And
well, we do have the 8 in the morning flight, so you can crash it at the spot here, hang out with the family, listen to the pigeons fuck. It's all yours. All yours. This can all be yours. I'll tell you that too. You could also be in a 1-bedroom apartment in Parkdale with 2 children. Now, this won't always be the case. I'm going to get myself out of here, but it is here right now. Let's get to work. We have 5 games on the card. I've already made 4 bets. Thank you guys all for Twatty's interested in almost jumping in cars.
You got to look out for him, Twatty. Like, they're crazy, man. You never know. Like, the drugs here in Belleville, they can get you guys. So anyways, Twatty, good to see you, brother. It's been too long.
Okay, let's go. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Seattle Kraken 14-26-4, 5-12-2 on the road at New York Islanders, 15-16-6, 8-9-3 at home at UBS Arena in Elmont, New York. I could have got the Islanders last night. I got in on the Wild, I don't know, about 7:00 at night.
Yeah.
And the Wild have injuries. It's not I don't love the spot. I just think that the Blackhawks are a garbage fire. No one's singing around it either. And this Islander squad was available to me at plus 160, minus 160. I wanted to see how the game went against Ottawa. They beat Ottawa soundly. It was a mistake not being on them. And Kraken played a good game against the Bruins, down 2-0, came back in the third, got the first goal of the year from Jonas Donskoy. Donskoy scored 17 goals last year for Colorado Avalanche.
Unbelievable. Donskoy, like it's too bad. Like they're giving him high fives, appreciate, slap on the ass, good job there, Donskoy. Because guys, first goal, unbelievable. This guy was on fire for Colorado, and just shows you Seattle. I think they're in trouble here, to be honest, Jim. I don't like Seattle. They're also missing some defensemen, guys. They're missing 3 defensemen, key defensemen. We're talking plus minus. Jimmy, I know you always like to talk plus minus. Susie +7, one of the leaders on this team. Tandem's also been out too. Then you got Borg. And then also Alexiak, another +1. They don't have a lot of guys in the plus minus that are going to win you games. And coming off this back-to-back, Islanders, they got to start winning games too. I think Islanders are pretty live here. Barzal and company, even with Varlamov and net guys, he's a home goalie, in my opinion. Power play advantage is going to be going towards the Islanders. Penalty kill as well. I just think I'm going to keep this simple. The more you kind of break it down, you can kind of get, lost in the deep sea. But I think it's just kind of an Islanders play here, Jim. I think Islanders regulation. I actually hit this one overnight. I grabbed this one up, guys, at plus 100. I had some overnight lines there. I tweeted out, Jim. Eagle 47. You guys can see the Twitter there in the handle. I think this is a good spot for the Islanders. They look good against. It was Ottawa, but Ottawa still is playing good hockey right now. But it's a back-to-back. It's a similar, I think it's going to be a similar game to what you saw against Ottawa. Ottawa was on a back-to-back. Seattle is going to be in the same situation here, Jim. So Islanders, they can still get it at minus 111 right now. I think that's at pinnacle. So what do you think there, bud?
I got it at minus 112 this morning. And I'd been sitting there staring at it, watching the market move towards, and I was like, how could I not be on it? Speaking of Donskoy, 17 goals, 51 games last year, 19.8 shooting percentage with the Avalanche, 1.8.
Like, he's sitting on the fourth goddamn line too. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it from Seattle.
Mason Appleton tied it up 7 minutes later. They need offense so badly. They have just 3 players with double-digit goals. Jared McCann, 18. Eberle, 12. Yanni Gord, 10. Schwartz has been injured since December 29th.
That's a huge piece.
Seattle power play 16.2%. Penalty killing at 75.9%. Just having Jaden Schwartz around, too. I don't know if you guys know his character, but he's, like, just loved everywhere he goes. And his sister was a superstar hockey player who died of cancer while she was starring. I believe she was starring for Harvard, or I can't remember what college team she was starring. Sorry?
A good hockey school, though.
Yeah, good hockey school. But she was a star hockey player, and she died. And he's just a quality
he's a character guy. He is.
Yeah,
he's a leader. I'm surprised he's not the captain. I know Giordano is, but he's got an A for sure. This guy's he's a key guy on Seattle, and even with the Alexiak and Susie, he's a huge piece to this defensive team. And the Islanders guys, they're healthy. Only guy they have out now, they have Cizikas, Cernak, and then Pollock. But getting Palmieri back, that was a huge addition. They have all their offense. I think it's going to be too much. And you're going to have Grubauer going in net. You had Drieger going last night. I think Grubauer, his numbers on the road are not good. And keep it simple. I think it's an Islanders play, guys.
I agree. We got great cappers here joining us. We got Ick Schnizzle ready to go. Pound Cake Pusha in the house. Ick Schnizzle working a shitty job right now. Says we're going to help him through it. That's what we're here for, my man. Anytime anything shitty going on outside, just come in and cap with us. Great to see everybody. Dan Bonner loving the first period under 1.5. I think that makes sense. Maxwell Smart, it's just running so hot. Can't wait to cap Max. There's DJ Big Boss, who you can hang out with in San Antonio. He's got his ticket booked. Nutflush Allen on the Islanders, team total over 2.5 at plus 125. That's pretty shocking.
Say that again, Jimmy. Sorry, I just was blanking.
Islanders team total over 2.5 at plus 125 is a nice number. There's Ron Crawford with a spreadsheet play of the day on the LA Kings. I look forward to talking about that game very, very much.
Great number.
But let's just go add to it. You talked about Will Borgen put on the COVID list. That's the third defenseman that's been out. But for the Islanders, there were 3 players I talked about. Yes, there was a bunch of players I talked about yesterday. But, I mean, they need depth in scoring. We know that Barzal can do it, but he needs help. I talked about Wahlstrom. Wahlstrom scored a goal last night. We need Beauvillier moving in the right direction. He scored a power play goal last night. So, and then the big return from injury, and I know he's only on the third line right now, but he'll end up on the top line, is Ryan Pulock. Because this team has been so good with Pelech and Pulock playing 25 to 30 minutes a game, 6'3", 6'2", defensive guys, poor Corsi numbers, but that's not a big stat for Lamoriello.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Jim. I'm just looking at the plus minus. I think that's a huge thing to look at too, guys. Plus minus. Islanders have 3 of their top 4 plus minus are their defensemen. Pelech, Chara, and Dobson, +3, +4, and +13 for Pelech. So right away, this is a strong defensive team. That first period under probably is not a bad look, in my opinion. I think that's a good look. But only worry would be is if Islanders get up 2 goals, because I don't see maybe even a team total. The old first period, Seattle, no goal in the first. I wouldn't mind that either. But give it time. I think Islanders kind of like the Ottawa game. Ottawa got up on them early, and then Islanders just clamped down on defense and just overpowered them. It's going to be a back-to-back too for the it's for both teams, that is. But I still think the Islanders here, it's stronger, much stronger team. And offensively, you said it too, Jim, with Palmieri too, the addition of Palmieri. I know he was out with COVID. Since he's been back, he's a key guy to have on the team. Similar, not like a Schwartz, but still a key guy to have. Kind of like a Hyman, really works hard in the corners. So I think this is an Islanders. They can go on their run. We talked about the Islanders run. This could be it. Even though it's the All-Star break coming up, I think Islanders are going to win this one tonight.
Yeah, I got in late. I got in this morning. It was the last bet I made of my 4 bets. -112. I got -180 and +150. Used the -1 calculator. Yep. And we are off and rolling. And there's Billy Brisbane, your co-star on the hottest PGA sports bettor show in the gambling community. Billy. And you that pops off right after this show, right?
Yes.
Okay,
well, tell us about PGA Pub Hub, Pebble Beach, baby.
Yeah, pitch it to us right when we close up shop here. Let's move on. 7 p.m. Eastern, Edmonton Oilers 22-16-3, 10-8-3 on the road at Washington Capitals, 24-12-9, 12-7-5 at home. We're at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. Koskinen against who is the big question, because Vanacek got hurt very early in the game yesterday. Samsonov came in and stood on his head and got peppered with shots. I'd be surprised if they go with him again. I would bring in Phoenix Copley over from Hershey, but I don't know. Do we have any news on who's going to be in that?
I was going to ask you, do you know what happened with Vanacek? Was it it says upper body injury. Was it like a bad injury? Did you see it?
I wasn't watching the game at the time. I was only following along. It was the Pens game. I was kind of caught up with that Raptors.
I think if Copley does go, Jim, he really had he's an up and down goalie. He's an AHL goalie. I just got his numbers quickly: 12-7, .906 save percentage, 2.5 goals against. Hershey is they're a strong team though. Like they for an AHL team, this competition now, he's going to be going up against Edmonton, who's absolutely firing right now, guys. The addition with Kane, Evander Kane, look out for Edmonton, in my opinion, Jim. And also with how the fans and the media were just all over them. These guys are pissed off. I can tell you that. I think Edmonton right now, guys, a little first period numbers. They're 6-3-1 in their last on the road. Edmonton, that's first period. So they're a very hot first period team, surprisingly on the road lately. And with the addition of Kane, I don't see that changing. On the other hand, you got Washington on a back-to-back, a big game against Pittsburgh. I have a tough time seeing them just jumping all over Edmonton. That's been a pretty pissed off team. Washington is also 3-5-2 in their last 10 games at home. So I think this is a good spot for Edmonton, Jim. First period, I got that at +102, late ad just before the show. I think Edmonton are going to jump all over this team. And with question marks between the net, it's not a great spot for Copley either, guys. It is from Hershey to Washington, but I think this is an Edmonton spot. They're looking really good. They did beat up on some weaker teams, but look for Edmonton, in my opinion, to jump on Washington early here. +102. I like Edmonton first period, Jim.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I moved at 11:23 p.m. or I guess like about 11:15, but I tweeted at 11:23. I moved on the Oilers. I got a great line. I got +115. That's also at Bet365, which doesn't hand out great lines. You know, it's not a pinnacle line. I also smashed the over Edmonton, Washington over 6 at -115.
I did as well.
That's moved to 6.5 at Bet365 right now, and the Oilers are a -105. At Bet365 right now, so beat those handily.
Copley's going to be going like more than likely. I've seen this. It's going to probably be Copley in net, so that does help. The over has been going up. The line switching towards Edmonton. That's just a sign they're bringing up an AHL goalie. I did grab it too, guys. Over 6, Jim, -115 with you.
Nice.
Only thing I would worry about would be is if Edmonton really clamped down here and Washington, win like a 4-1, 3-1 kind of game, 3-2. But for the most part here, just looking at their power play numbers, penalty kill, 59% in January, Jim. I'm just looking at January, 59% for Edmonton. The one thing is, though, they do have an 81% penalty kill away on the road for the whole year. So you can see that's kind of like, it's going to regress back, the 59%. And they're completely healthy, too. They just, Barry's out, but they still nurse. Archibald's out as well, but they still have pretty much their core. Boucher there, Evan Bouchard, sorry. So, I think this is a good over spot.
Yeah, I do, too. A lot of cappers on Sweaty Butcher on the over. We have Mike M on the Oilers. He says Caps 0-7 against spread, 0-4 after an OT game. Love the Oilers. Here is the puck money play of the day. Nut Flush Allen looking at the Oilers team total over 3.5 at +125. Now, in all, like Copley, these 30-year-old vets coming in, It's easy to rally around them. It does make me a little bit nervous.
And he did play with the boys. Remember a couple years ago, I remember Copley was on the team for, a couple months even at that. So he's been up with the big. The total worries me a little bit at 6.5, to be honest. I feel stronger on Edmonton. I made the overplay last night, and this morning I made the Edmonton play. So we'll see how it goes. But I think Edmonton first period. I like that look.
There's easy to explain why the Oilers are playing better, and Gogster touched on some weak opposition on this winning streak, and that's completely true. But Nugent Hopkins and Zach Hyman are back, and this team desperately needs secondary scoring, and that's what they have now. The Capitals on the second half back-to-back, they bent but didn't break. They got outshot 47-32. They allowed the Pens to score 3 power play goals. Kepney's on the COVID list. Oshie's still on the IL. The only thing that makes me nervous is the magic that these older goaltenders can conjure.
I think Edmonton can win by like reverse puck line here, like by 2 goals. Because like those numbers on the road, remember how good Edmonton was beginning of the year? They were on fire. They were just, Koskinen was hot. And looking at Washington, 11% power play in January, 16% on the year. Their power play has been awful. This is a bad spot for Washington, big time. So, and the number's been going down, but I think Edmonton. Reverse puck line even. I like the nut flush is over 3.5 too.
Yeah. Any way you can get a plus line out of this, I can understand doing it. But let's move on. Let's keep rolling here. Next up, Mr. Gogster, LA Kings at Detroit Red Wings. We're at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. I find this game very, very interesting from the capping perspective. And I spent a long time close to moving on a couple different spots. We have Ron Crawford is moving on the LA Kings here. And I get it. The problem for me here is I can kind of put a decent argument on both sides of the coin. But let's break this down. But first, shout out to Ron Crawford. LA Kings are his spreadsheet play of the day. There we go, right there. Let's do this here. Johnny Quick versus Alex Nedeljkovic. Nedeljkovic not playing well, Gogster.
No, he's struggling.
And I love it. I fucking love it.
It's a bad, rough patch, Jimmy.
If Rod Brindamore doesn't trust you, I don't trust you. Nedeljkovic, 13, 12, and 5, 2.90 goals against average, 910 save percentage, 1 shutout. Both power plays are weak. Both penalty killing is weak. Power play at 16.6, 73.2% penalty killing for the Kings, 16.3% power play, 77% penalty killing for the Red Wings. According to Action Network, the Red Wings opened up at plus 120. They're now at plus 110, 114, 115, 117, depending on where you shop, but a move towards them. And then from a total perspective, it opened up at 6, surprisingly enough.
Really?
I that's what they say here. I did not see that. I saw it open up at 5.5. If I had have seen a 6, I would be on the under. I almost bet the under as it is at 5.5. And I wanted to talk about Kings coming off a big 4-3 win at Pittsburgh on Sunday, and go through from psychologically. And I know this is a numbers game.
Here we go.
But psychologically, I do not know what this King squad is going to give us. They've been on the road since January 23rd. They go on vacation when the game is over. It's a 6-game road trip that's taken a long time. Now, they've been solid throughout this road trip. This is a playoff team in a weak division. Anze Kopitar has been strong as always. It's forward depth that's changed this team. Philip Danault was such a great signing. 10 goals, 13 assists, 23 points, 44 games played, and he's a plus 14. I understand that a lot of people think plus minus is an antiquated statistic, but he's a plus 14. Kopitar's a minus 6. To give you an idea of how incredible Danault has been, 20 better than Kopitar. Trevor Moore has been excellent. Adrian Kempe is impressed. The Wings come in winners of 2 or 3 against good competition. They win at Pittsburgh 3-2 on Friday. They lose at home to Toronto 7-4 in a game they were in control of until Toronto flipped the switch and turned it up, which they're so capable of doing. Then they defeat Anaheim 2-1 at home on Monday, and that's become they're a tough team. But Nick Leddy mispracticed Tuesday. He's not expected to be on the lineup. This guy is being a horse for them, playing 21 minutes and 17 seconds a game, 12 points. So they don't have Leddy. I'm going to check out what the chat is saying here. Sweaty Butcher's on the over 5.5. Interesting. Yeah. North Ender leading under like I am. Johnny K liking Detroit. Billy Friedrich on the first period under. Very interesting. Interesting that Sweaty Butcher says just take the over. Wow. And then our guy, Robert Cherry Trooper Ayash Allah says Edmonton plus 1.5. Islanders money line. Kings money line, Minnesota money line, Arizona +1.5. Very, very interesting. Take it away, Gogster.
Yeah. So Nick Leddy, Jim, plus minus, he's -25.
Yeah, but if you look at these teams that when you're not a very good, now look, that's bad. But look at Chikrin. I mean, we all know he's the best defenseman on the Coyotes, but he's being put in the most important situations, and he's got a plus-minus of -35, -36. So while I do use the stat, I do think that some of these defensemen on bad teams that are playing in the toughest spots and playing big minutes, I kind of give them a little bit of a benefit of the doubt. Obviously, that's terrible, though.
I hear you. The thing is, too, though, isn't he? He's been on like second, third line D, so he's been going up against like second, third lines too. I think, which is even worse. Like if you're first D and you got those numbers, I get it. You're going up against the first line, but I saw him all the way on the third line for Nick Leddy there last time in the line combo. So yeah, I know you're absolutely right, Jimmy. Like if you're on a shitty team, especially Chikrin, like he's their top defenseman. So yeah, he definitely takes the brunt of it. Similar to Shabbat. Shabbat's another example for Ottawa. But yeah, looking at this game, this is an interesting one. I flipped to Detroit. Something had me on Detroit here. Main reason, actually, I dove into it just this morning. Plus minus again, guys. This is huge, though. Top three defensemen here: Edler, Roy, and Mikey Anderson for the LA Kings. Those three guys are out, Jim. If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, no, you're right there. But I mean, Edler's been out for 2.5 months.
True.
So they're comfortable with that spot. But
what about Roy? And I know Mikey Anderson just went on there +10. Those are two, and then also Roy's a +11. So right away, susceptible on the back end. Quick too. I have notes here, guys. He's fading. He's lost his last three, I believe. Here: San Jose, Colorado, New York Rangers, and Philadelphia. San Jose, Philly, not the greatest of losses, but still, I don't like what I'm seeing from this team. You said it too, Jimmy. Bad penalty killing from both teams. A 68% from LA Kings in the month of January, 72% on the road, 80% for Detroit at home. They have the better special teams is going to Detroit. Looking at their lines too, should have them up right here. No, I got Washington. Just looking at their lines, though, for Detroit, Jimmy, I have no problems with their lines. Even all four, even with Giovanni Smith, Joe Velino, and Sam Gagner. Third lines, Rasmussen, Zadina, and Ernie. Defensively, young Mort Seider, he's a stud. Mark Stahl, Hornick, Orstley, De Kaiser, Lindstrom, Gustav Lindstrom, who's got a great plus-minus as well for this team. I don't mind Detroit. They're not a team on the road you want to be backing as well, guys. This team's awful on the road. Ned, he has been a bit of a downside. I would be leaning towards the over. I would at 5.5. I saw it at -107 last night. I didn't end up playing that though. Dove a little bit more into the numbers. LA Kings in the first period 2-6-2, so 2 wins, 6 draws, 2 losses. Detroit 3-2-5. I'm going to be leaning towards Detroit here, Jimmy. The numbers, it's almost like I don't have my stats kind of, that's probably why Ronnie Crawford, I can see why he's on the Kings. But I'm going to go first period Detroit. I also did, I went a little nuts here on Bet365. I did race to 2 and race to 3 goals, guys. Do a little prop action, you could almost call it. Race to 2 goals was +120 and race to 3 was +180 for Detroit. I think they're going to come out strong, come out hot. Now with net and how they with the Kings, they've shown how good they are, especially with Deneau and company. I'm not going to bicker and batter too much more about this game. I think it's going to be Detroit early, and it could go over in the long run. What's the chat saying in it? What were they saying? George said, "It's dark. It's dark, brother. I don't know what's going on. It's cloudy here, brother. No sunlight. I got this thing here supposed to be peppering my eyes. I can barely see, but."
Remo says it's Max next. I've gathered the entire family over to watch the intro, and they're getting restless. Okay, all right. Okay. Look, that's a ballsy spot.
Detroit.
Betting Detroit in this manner. It's interesting because I lean towards the under when these two teams play, but you know what? I've got action I'm comfortable with. I'm going to stay off this game. I'll be a very interested viewer. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today going heads up with Mr. Gogster. We got Sweaty Butcher on the over, TJ on the under. It's tricky.
It's interesting.
So,
Yeah. My apologies to that family. We'll make it quick here, guys. It's up here in Canada. When it's dark and it's cold, sometimes it comes out. But anyway, let's keep going, Jim.
We got up to 4 degrees Celsius. We went for a walk yesterday. I picked up Ella.
Wasn't that nice?
Went for a walk, and the snow was melting, and the snow melted away and revealed dog shit everywhere. Shit everywhere. I haven't seen as much shit ever on the streets in my entire life as we saw yesterday. Thank you, Parkdale. All right, let's move on. 9:30 p.m. Eastern, Minnesota Wild 27-10-3, 13-7-2 on the road at Chicago Blackhawks, 16-22-7, 8-10-3 at home United Center. Chicago, shit, garbage. Like this is actually a pretty nice neighborhood when it's snow everywhere. You take the snow away and it's horrifying.
Yeah.
Not
the
only
hotter
that,
it is, the more the stanch.
But legitimately, it's been, because I was here before I went down to Costa Rica. So I probably spent 10 years in Parkdale. I have never seen an attractive woman in Parkdale in my entire life. Never. There's not been one attractive woman that's ever, it's just I think it's probably the ugliest group of people in any part of the world here.
I'm in a rough patch. I do have DJ Big Boss he'd love this apartment here. It's like 70 plus. So it's rough pickings, but hey, DJ.
It's a pretty hideous group in Belleville as well. Okay, let's stay focused here. Cam Talbot, 17-8-1, 2.92 goals against average, 9-10 save percentage. Marc-Andre Fleury, 14-15-3, 2.85 goals against average, 9-10 save percentage, 3 shutouts. Minnesota power play, 18.8%. Penalty killing at 80.2%. It's interesting that I attacked this early and really didn't need to. I moved on the Wild, and it concerns me a bit that there hasn't been a move towards them, and it's because of the injuries. I got this at like 7:00 last night. I got a plus 104. So, money line was minus 150. Puck line was plus 160. That's not available now. But I am a little concerned. Now, this Wild team has so much depth. They've won 5 straight. They're coming off a 4-3 win at the Islanders. Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Zuccarello are magic together. But they lose 6'3", 226-pounder Marcus Foligno. He's going to miss today's game with an upper body injury. And he's just an awesome hockey player. He's a monster. He's so quality. He's the kind of guy you need in a playoff series. So he has 17 goals, 27 points, 39 games. He's got a great plus minus. They also lose Matt Dumba. So here's a defenseman playing 23 minutes and 39 seconds a game, 4 goals, 20 points, 39 assists, and has just a beauty shot on the power play. Nick Bukestad, 6'6", but a twig, has been out of the lineup since January 1st.
What a twig.
Blackhawks have lost 2 straight and 6 of 7. They're coming off a 3-1 home loss to Vancouver on Monday night. Johnny Taves is out with a concussion. It's been interesting watching Crosby still play at such a high level and Taves not being able to do that, and it makes me sad, to be honest with you. I've always loved Taves.
He partied and Crosby didn't.
Oh, Captain Serious was not partying. He missed a year with the illness, the disease, or whatever it was. We don't really know about. He's Captain Serious, man. This man doesn't party, but he just hasn't been able to play on the level of Crosby. I moved on the Wild. That's all I've done. Take it away, Gogster.
All right. What about Maryland Sturm there, Jim? I don't know if you brought them up. They're questionable too. They've had COVID, so those are another couple pieces. I think this is Chicago spot, guys. The reason being, they played a couple weeks ago, 5-1 at Chicago, Minnesota. Next day, back-to-back. At Minnesota, 4-3 Minnesota again. So they beat these guys back-to-back. Are they going to beat them a third time with the weakest? This is the weakest Minnesota's looked. They're going into the All-Star break. Chicago, actually, guys, surprisingly, looking at their numbers in January, 20% power play, Jim. These guys are starting to slowly get a little bit better with their offense. Their penalty kill is right around the same as Minnesota's been in January, and vice versa, road home. So short and sweet here. Don't want to bore the families too much more. I know Max is coming up. I'm gonna add a play here, Jim. I'm gonna add. Give me Chicago team total over 2.5.
Oh wow. Okay.
Give me Chicago team total over 2. And I would imagine it's 2.5 plus money. Hopefully, I think Chicago now Fleury. Just with their offense and Chicago being Chicago, Minnesota could, come flying back like a Colorado does. But I think Chicago's going to get some goals.
Not. It's juiced.
What is it?
It's minus 118 at Pinnacle. And it is, I'll find out here, but this is a juiced situation we have.
Yeah. What do you guys think of that one in the chat? What do you guys think of that?
Team total.
Sources close to me say that newly transferred quarterback Caleb Williams from USC has a foot fetish.
Okay.
All right. Okay. It's just in. That's in. Wow. I can only think of my friend Kevin Fox, who thought he had a foot fetish until he went on to a Japanese foot fetish site.
What?
And he found out that he just has a foot interest.
Yeah. You learn that awfully quick, don't you? Jeez.
This is juiced at -135 at Bet365. It's -118 at Pinnacle.
Well, guys, I got enough action on the card, but if you're looking for what does our guy Nutflesh Allen think of that? I'd love to hear what Nutflesh Allen thinks. He's our team total expert of late.
His is juiced to -120. But people liking the breaking news. I mean, that's what we want breaking news to be: quick, tight, something interesting,
true.
something sexual. Okay, so we'll wait. You have a couple more minutes because we're going into NCAA basketball next. We have one more game. Get your games in for NCAA basketball. The final game on the card, I've not moved on, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Calgary Flames 21-13 and 6, 14-9-2 on the road at Arizona Coyotes 10-29 and 4, 5-15 and 1 at home. We're at Gill Arena in Glendale, Arizona. Vladar, we expect to be in.
Yeah, Darth Vladar.
He did replace Markstrom last night. So who knows? I mean, the Leafs went back to Campbell, and that was a great call. So Piker is here for the foot stuff. Carol Melka, 6-17-1, 3.39 goals against average, 902 save percentage, one shutout. If I listened to Wedgwood talk after the game last night, and he had me so pumped up, I think I've kind of read Wedgwood wrong. This guy cares very, very much.
He's a journeyman. He's the old journeyman, shorter guy too. He played here in Belleville with Syracuse. Saw him a lot. He can be good. He can be good.
Yeah, you can. Crystal Warren thinks Jose needs to move breaking news outside like a hurricane reporting weatherman. I do like that. If there's ever inclement weather, we got to get him outside for the breaking news. I love that idea. Calgary power play 21.5%, penalty killing at 84.2%. Arizona power play at 12.7%, penalty killing at 72.7%. Both teams on the second half of a back-to-back. Flames on the second half of back-to-back after their second straight win in 4th and 5 games last night at Dallas. It reminded me a little bit of the Leafs. These Goodrow, Kachuk, and Lindholm are becoming so elite that they can just turn it on and take over a game. Yeah. And if the Flames get a horse on defense, a big, what's a Colton Parayko, like a big stay-at-home kind of defense, they're going to be a very dangerous hockey team, because the way they took over that game was like, it was extremely impressive. And they're so healthy. They've been so healthy all year. I don't know how they're not in first place in this Pacific Division that's just so open for someone to take it, with the Knights battling all these injuries and COVID. I don't know how they have not taken that role. The Coyotes shocked the world last night, stopping Colorado's 18-game home winning streak. Galchenyuk, a second period goal. Marker. Wedgwood played well, but I've not moved on this game. Gogster, take it away.
It's an old dice game here. Who knows what's going to happen here, guys. Vlader. Going with Vamelka, I think it could be an under sleepy game. Wouldn't you think, Jimmy? Both teams coming off that big comeback from Calgary. Arizona winning that against Colorado. Going on the road, too, now coming back home. Feels like a sleepy game here, guys. I'm not going to add any more action just because it's, the more action you have, it's just tougher to win, in my opinion, right? So that's my opinion. I know Max would have a lot to say about that.
Interesting. If this got to 6, I would be with you. I would be very interested in the under. And by the way, money's been coming in on the Red Wings Kings under. That's now a pick 'em, and that was a -105 situation.
Yeah, I switched. I was going to take the over there, guys, and then hesitated, and then ended up taking Detroit. I thought they were going to come out strong, and I thought Quick was fading. I don't know. We'll see.
Quick does seem to be not playing as well. Okay, let's review all of the action. Great. We have Crystal Warren coming in with ideas for Max to break down. And shout out to DX Filer my guy DX Filer. Great group hanging with us. The Sweaty Butchers on Edmonton, Washington over 6, Minnesota, Chicago over 6, and Kings, Detroit over 5.5. The Sweaty Butcher. Are you going to move on that team total over for the Blackhawks?
Oh, going once, going twice. Sold. I didn't bring it up for no reason. I didn't say it for no reason, right? I'm not going to check.
Minus 118 at Pinnacle from Mr. Gogster. I'm not going to add anything now, but I would be interested in the under 6 if it gets there. Let's review all action. Mr. Gogster adding that spot there on the over 2.5 team total, and he locked in 5 bets last night for the show. Edmonton, Washington over 6 and minus 115. I'm also on that with the exact same line. Then New York Islanders regulation at plus 100, and I missed that. That was available for me last night, and I don't know why the 4. It was strange, my thought process there. And then he's all over Detroit. First period money line plus 111, race to 2 goals plus 120, race to 3 goals at plus 180. I moved on 4 spots. I'm on the Wild minus 1 at plus 104. The Islanders minus 1 at minus 112. I got in late to the party there. And then I have the Oilers plus 115 on the money line and the Edmonton, Washington over 6 at minus 115. And those were only bet at 11:15, 11:30 last night, and we smashed those market moves. Mr. Gogster, much love to you. Thank you for rolling with us.
Yeah, I'm just going to – sorry, Jim, 2 more. I had the first period Edmonton Oilers too, plus 102. I added that one. That was a late add. Edmonton Oilers guys first period plus 102. And also then the Chicago team total over 2.5 minus 118. So I actually have now 7 plays on this 5-game slate. So let's get some winners there. Check out the PGA Pub Hub guys. It's coming up just after Jimmy's show. Myself, Connor Mack, and we're gonna just do some Pebble Beach. It's gonna go to the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. We've got a nice, actually 8-pack. So tons of golfers, got top 20s matchup bets. Any questions you guys have, golf fans, come unite 1:30 there for a half an hour with myself and Connor on Pub Sports Radio.
I love it. That was Oilers first period plus 103.
Plus 103. Yep, we'll take it.
All right, Mr. Gogster in the house. We are heading into an all-star break, but I will stay in touch with you. Thank you for sharing your hard work with us, and you've been very good on this show. 34 wins, 28 losses, hitting at 54.8%, plus 3.66 units, ROI plus 5.90%, average line minus 102. And we believe in you, Gogster. Thank you for sharing your hard work with us, my man. I will be in touch.
Be good, guys. I'll see you in the chat.
There he is, Mr. Gogster. And the golf show will go on right after this show, and I've got to set it up better with them so that they know exactly what time their show is going to pop off at, so I will work on that. All right, let's get to the moment that everybody has been waiting for, and for me, it's the man's work, the man's skill set. It's his winners that he has been supplying nonstop, especially since I've come back from COVID. What a record he has, cashing alternate lines. He went 3-1 plus 2.75 units. And that was just yesterday. And now 89 wins, 77 losses, 53.6% plus 11.98 units, ROI plus 7.22%, average line plus 101. Extremely impressive. And the only capper right now that is up more than those units right now on the entire show is our producer. Jose, get your finger on the button because everybody wants to see this. Please welcome to the show the best NCAA capper in the business, Mr. Maxwell Smart in the house.
Be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard,
The Cupcake King, Max. How are you, my man?
I'm all right, Jim. It's a pretty good night last night for me. Didn't have to bet a whole bunch live, which is always fantastic. It's also good for Gus because that piece of shit definitely needed a night off for me rinsing him like a rinse cycle in a washing machine. And, I'll tell you, Jim, it's real fun when you're doubting your numbers and then you trust the numbers and you take that bias and emotion out of it and you make a good fucking chunk of change. Obviously, I'm not going to fucking hide from the fact that my programs came out and completely embarrassed me twice. The Bonnies and the Huskies, we will not be talking about them on the show anymore. Jose, we will not be taking questions about them on the show anymore. That is how strongly I feel about it. If I was allowed to get kicked off Twitter again, Jim, and lose this Twitter account, I would have said some pretty vulgar things about people's families, the things that I would human traffic in the world. So, I'm not going to do it, but I'm ready to attack this card. And obviously, Jim, I want to see more retweets from the low baggers. I want to see the show grow. And I want to see 100 likes every time I come on. I think that that's fair. The show's been on for 49 minutes. Can we not get 100 likes? So I know you won't ask for it, but I will. And I'll be an asshole about it. I won't even make an official play until we get this shit. So.
Fuck you, Gus.
Jose, you are near and dear to my heart with a statement like that. That is
all right. Let's get to work. You can tell he's confident today. Paulie Walnuts. We start with good old Paulie Walnuts, Max. He wants to talk about the Campbell Camels. Campbell opening up as 1 point favorite. That shot up to 3 or 3.5 point favorites at Presbyterian. And when we move over to the total here, we have it opening up at 121.5, now up to 122.5, 123.5. Great call, by the way, on that Texas Tech over. That was such an easy casher, and shout out to Jose for catching Texas Tech as well. Take it away, Max. First game on the slate, Campbell Presbyterian.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Jose for that Texas Tech play. That was a wonderful call, wonderful situational spot. And I think that when we look at this Presbyterian Campbell game, for people that love mid-major basketball, this is a great matchup. You have Rayshawn Harrison, one of the game-changing scorers of mid-major basketball that not a lot of people show a lot of love to. This is his game to stand out. Campbell is an experienced, Campbell is a capable team, but Campbell has some glaring weaknesses. 3-point shooting is not one of their strong suits. They do shoot volume threes, and I think that this is a team in Campbell that is at their best when they are going to the rim hard, getting to the free throw line, and forcing the issue. They're not going to be dealing with a team with a small and short bench. There's guys like Brandon Younger, Owen McCormick, Zeb Graham, all who can have outlier type performances. I think that right now, I'd rather take Campbell first half because I'm afraid of this 3.5 with Presbyterian full game.
I love it. We are off and rolling. Get your games in. We have Maxwell Smart running sick hot right now in college basketball. That was for Paulie Walnuts. We move over to Sammy Culmer. Sammy Culmer is looking at the Villanova spot. I'm going to try to give rotation numbers as we have one of these giant schedules here. Sorry, I should have been ahead of this, and I am not. So let me pull up this rotation number for Villanova. Man, there's a lot of games here. I wish I had a different system here while I'm searching for this, Max. Oh, there we go. Rotation number 721-722. This total opened up at 134. It's now at 133.5. And let me move over to the spread. Get down to the bottom here. And we have Villanova opening up as 4-point road favorites. That's moved to 4.5. Max, take it away.
I think that with Villanova, they definitely have the advantage offensively when it comes to the free throw line. They do get there 4 or 5 times more than Marquette, and they are a close to 90% free throw shooting team. I think that when you look at this Villanova group, they're not going to beat you with size, but they are going to be able to really grind out possessions, move the ball, get those screens to get their shooters free, because this is not the one-on-one NBA talent that we've seen at Villanova in the past. I still think, though, they are someone to have to be worried about. The problem is when you look at Marquette's been a fantastic underdog, but we have to take note of where they've been a good underdog, what number they've been a good underdog. And in this point range, the success hasn't been as clear. I think that at this number, I want to look at Marquette to at least be competitive in the first half. But I think that the value to me is just a full game under, and that's why the line's moving that way also.
Next up from Sammy Comer, the second game he wants you to discuss. Rotation number 7-11, 7-12, Wisconsin, Illinois. Wisconsin opening up as 6.5-point road dogs. They're now 7, and they've moved to 7.5 over at BetMGM. Let me move over to the total here. And here we go. This total opened up at 140, and it's dropped fast, Max. We have 136.5 on the board now. Take it away. Wisconsin Badgers versus Illinois at Illinois.
Okay, so obviously we got the news that Andre Curbelo is going to be back in the lineup for Illinois. It's going to be a huge boost. I think it gives them another ball handler, a guy who can go right to the rim against most defenses in the Big Ten with his quickness and his strength at the rim to absorb contact. So I do think that's a big game changer for Illinois on a side. But the thing that I thought about and really narrowed in for the show is that even in a game where Wisconsin is definitely having to grind out buckets and Johnny Davis is really having to take over on his own, I think that this team total is just 2 points too low. I want to make an official play on this game, Jim. It's not going to be an alternative point spread. It's going to be a team total. When I see Wisconsin at a team total of 64.5, I got to fuck with that, man. I got to fuck with that. They haven't scored less than 64 and I don't even know when. So I'll take the over 64.5 as my first official play of the show.
Wisconsin team total over 64.5. I will line shop and see what I can get you. Let's keep rolling on. In the meantime, great breakdown. Over to Dabby Cab. And this is a game that everybody wants to talk about because it will get us through our workday. 3 p.m. Eastern. This game pops off in 3 hours. Florida, Missouri. Rotation number 715, 716. This total opened up at 135.5, and it's slightly dropping. We have 135s and 134.5. And from a spread perspective, we have it opening up with Florida as 5.5-point road favorites. That is moved to 6 at some books, although BetMGM and PointsBet still hanging the 5.5. Max, take it away. Florida, Missouri.
Yeah, listen, I think that when you look at this Missouri team, they're not going to have Javon Pickett, who has, I guess, a concussion. Unfortunately for him, that sucks. But I do think that Missouri has a guy that they can plug right into that spot, and that's Amari Davis. This is he transferred in from Green Bay. He was a double-digit scorer there. He's a double-digit scorer here in the SEC. I think that you can expect a big game from him tonight. I think that with Missouri coming off a really bad road loss against Iowa State, I do think that we're in a situational rebound. And unfortunately, in this game, some of my bias has come into it. I am not a Mike White believer. I'm not a Mike White believer on the road, and I'm not a Mike White believer with his team being a favorite of two 3-point buckets or more. So I'm obviously going to be going with Mizzou in this spot. I do think that with Jerron Coleman, Amari Davis, and Kobe Brown, personnel-wise, they do have enough offense that they can get going. I think that it's more a matter of their defense. They got to be able to take advantage of a team that is missing their best low post offensive weapon in Colin Castleton, and defense is going to be what Missouri does to win this game. First off, I like the full game under. I bet the full game under. And I think that if Missouri can keep this Florida team under 30 in the first half, we'll be on our way to cashing that. So as far as making a play, I think that the only thing that I want to do is I want to take Missouri as a first half money line dog, and I'm taking the shot with them. So let's roll with it.
Missouri first half money line dog. Sammy Comer line shop for you. Got you that team total over 64.5 for Wisconsin at -107. Next up, we have Missouri first half money line. Let's keep rolling. Maxie's running hot. Next up, we have Dabby Cabs. Dabby Cabs again. He wants to talk Oklahoma State Kansas State. Kansas State at home opening up as 2-point favorites. FanDuel's got a 1.5. BetMGM has a 2.5. From a total perspective, we have it opening up at 128.5, and it's shot all the way up. Now, PointsBet has it 130.5, FanDuel 131, BetMGM 131.5. Oklahoma State, Kansas State. Maxie, take it away.
Yeah, Oklahoma State has actually been a sneaky under team, except for the last 2 games, and one of those went to overtime. I do think that on the road, we do see them revert back to some of their issues with scoring the basketball. We have seen Coach Boynton be very critical in the media about them. So I think that this is a situation where, defense is going to win you games on the road. And if they can't play defense, I don't really care what they can do scoring. Against this Kansas State team, you're playing a team that's kind of hungry for a win right now, and losing as a favorite on the road against Ole Miss definitely seemed like a line that was lined incorrectly. For me, I think that Kansas State definitely has to win on the glass. And if they're able to win on the glass versus this Oklahoma State team, I think that they can get away with the outright win. I'm not willing to back Oklahoma State as a road dog in this situation. And I just don't think that with the total moving 4 points, there's any move for me to make except to take the under.
I love it. We are off and rolling. The final game that Cab wants you to discuss is Arkansas, Georgia. This total opened up at 153.5. It is down to 151.5. And Arkansas opening up as 9-point road favorites. That is shot up to 10.5 at some books. Max, take it away.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is one of the games that I have a hard time making a move on either way. I do like the fact that JD Note and Jalen Williams have really asserted themselves in this offense, and Stanley Umude is bringing a level of on-ball defense that we really haven't seen from this team. However, this Georgia team, that Alabama game just rings in my memory, and I just can't get involved.
Next up, we have Billy Friedrich, who a big supporter of the show, whom we love dearly. Thank you for all that you do for us in the chat, Billy. He wants to talk Longwood, UNC Asheville. Longwood opening up as 3-point road favorites. That's down to 2.5 or 2. DraftKings has dropped it to 2. And from a total, we have it opening up at 136.5, and it's climbing as we speak. We now see 138.5 on the board.
Yeah, this is a spot that I'm all over the over on. I think that this is a Longwood team that's definitely shown that they could put the basketball in the net, that they can win on the glass, and that they can score off those offensive rebounds. It has been a little tight lately when it comes to them winning on the spread, but I do think that this game gets into the 140s. So that is definitely the spot that I like the most in this game. I think from a personnel perspective, we see this line going in favor of UNC Asheville. And with UNC Asheville, from a personnel perspective, Drew Pember is going to be the best big man on the floor. 6'11", very shifty when it comes to getting up and under defenders, getting around defenders. He doesn't go through them traditionally like a strong big man will, but he can score the ball. He can play without fouling, and that's key for a guy with his size, Jim. When you have good footwork like you see with Pember, he can really drop a big number. We saw him drop a 41-point output a couple games ago. I'd be worried about Longwood, because that's really their big issue, is defending a big man on other teams. The one thing that I like for Longwood is the fact that Justin Hill has been absolutely fantastic. He's coming off almost a 30-point game last time out at home. I want to see this number go a little lower, and then I would get on Longwood, because this line feels like something that is going to end up with Asheville as the favorite. So I want Longwood. I lean Longwood. I'm waiting for a better number.
Next up, Billy Friedrich wants to talk about his rotation number 683, 684. Drake at Indiana State. Drake opening up his 3-point road favorites. That's shot up to 4.5, and this total has gone up a point or a point and a half. Actually, 2 points at Sugar House. That is an opener at 142, up to 144 at Sugar House. Drake, Indiana State, Max.
Yeah, I think that this is a possible freaking spot to back Indiana State. I think that with this team, they definitely play better on their home floor. They can score the three, but they can also really defend. It's about them being able to stop this freaking Drake freaking dribble screen offense. And with Drake, Roman Penn hasn't looked the same. Tucker DeVries is the guy that you really got to put your freaking hand on and put a body on and face guard at times. They're a good team in Drake. They're definitely playing better and they're looking good coming off a home win against Loyola. I just think that you go into Indiana State now, and I think it's pure letdown city. I will say this, Drake has been good on the road. They haven't been good for our bankroll. That hasn't changed. I'm not looking to back them as a favorite. It's Indiana State or pass for me.
Next spot on the board, we have three different cappers wanting to know about Billy Friedrich, Pound Cake Pusher, Danzo. A lot of interest in this spot. And let me pull it up here. Let me find it. Here we go. Rotation number 707-708, Dayton VCU. This total opened up very low, 119. It's gone up to 120 and a half. Come on, let me get this here. And then from a spread standpoint, we have almost no movement. PointsBet has moved VCU from a 4.5-point favorite to a 4, but the other books here on the Action Network are all at 4.5. Max, take it away. Dayton VCU.
Well, listen, these guys played a game that didn't even get to 110 last time out. That was when Vince Williams, Ace Baldwin were both in the lineup also, so we can't really make we can't really freaking say, oh, well, they didn't have a couple guys. They had the guys that mattered. I think that when you look at this VCU Dayton rematch, the value's with the dog. I think it's going to be another close game. And I do think that with Dayton and Dayron Holmes, Mustafa Mzil, and then, of course, Malachi Smith, that's the better scoring option. I definitely want to respect the ability of Marcus Tashonis and freaking Jaden Nunn. But for me, I just see a level of defense and a level of freaking consistency from all three levels for Dayton that I just don't get with VCU. I think that this is a spot that goes over early and stays under late. So I think that we could get 57, 58 points in the first half, and then we can see a substantial slowdown and scoring drought when these defenses clamp up. But for me, it's only backing the dog at this number, and I would be looking to split it with the total first half over, full game under.
Let's keep rolling. Pound Cake Pusher. Yes, I have everything that is official here on the show. So far, we have Wisconsin team total over 64.5 minus 107, and Missouri first half money line at plus 145. Next up, and this is the final spot for Billy Friedrich, and then we move down to Pound Cake Pusher's second game. Billy Friedrich wants to know about this spot. Binghamton, Stony Brook. Binghamton opening up as 8-point road dogs. That's down to 6.5 at BetMGM. And from a total perspective, we have it opening up at 139.5 and shooting all the way up to 143.5. Max, Binghamton, Stony Brook.
Okay, so we heard the news today from the America East Conference that Stony Brook will now be ineligible for the conference tournament and therefore not able to claim the at-large bid if they can win. This is detrimental to Stony Brook, and now we really have to make a decision of how we're going to approach this game. Do we think Stony Brook decides, yeah, we're going to start fucking everybody up, embarrassing them, running up the scores, and just being a real freaking thorn in the side of the conference? Or do they be like, yeah, well, our season's pretty much over now? I think that they're going to get angry. I think at home, you're going to see a big, loud crowd tonight, hopefully. And I'm going to the alt spreads for this, Jim. I'm going minus 9.5, plus 125. Stony Brook has been fantastic against everyone except Vermont. Why am I going to respect Binghamton on the road to be able to come in and do that? This is not Albany. So give me Stony Brook minus 9.5, plus 125, Jim.
Very, very exciting. We love when you take these alternate lines. We have a ton of games coming in. We don't have that much more time with Max, so I'm going to try to push this here. Next up is Pound Cake Pusher's final game, and it is Bradley, Northern Iowa. Let me get this up here. It's rotation number 695, 696. This total opened up at 139, squeaking up to 139.5 or 140. And from the spread, we have Northern Iowa opening up as 3.5-point favorites. That's moved to 4.5, although PointsBet still hanging a 3.5. Max, take it away. Bradley, Northern Iowa.
Yeah, listen, we've seen much better defense from Bradley, and during this win streak that is now up to 4 games, it is important to know that they've beaten some of the better teams in the conference with SIU and Drake. I do think that going into this matchup, Northern Iowa's got to bring good shooting. They got to be able to limit their opponent's field goal attempts. They got to be able to dominate on the glass. And if they can win a game like they did against Illinois State, which is definitely an ask, I think that we're going to see Northern Iowa be able to get over this. I think that AJ Green is back and healthy. I think that with him being so effective at all 3 levels, it really takes away a lot of potential double teams that Noah Carter would get when AJ Green was injured. And now we know that Noah Carter is probably the biggest up-and-coming big man in the conference. He has now taken the starting role from Austin Fife, and he's producing. I think that this is a spot where Northern Iowa throws out their best punch at Bradley, and I think it's good enough to knock them out.
Max, next up, rotation number 679, 680. This comes to us from our guy, Mike M. He's looking at St. Louis, George Mason. St. Louis opened up as 1-point favorites. They've now become 1 or 1.5-point dogs. And come on, give me the. And from a total perspective, we have it opening up at 136.5 and no movement at this point. Take it away here, Max. St. Louis, George Mason.
Yeah, this is a tough game for me. I haven't bet anything in this game, but by the numbers, I think that George Mason at home is a bet on team. I'm very impressed with how this team has developed. I thought that at the beginning of the season, this team was going to have to rely a lot on Deshaun Schwartz, and it really hasn't been the case. Devontae Gaines and Josh Odoro have been fantastic. I watched this team very closely when they destroyed my Bonnies, and I got to throw some respect by them. I think that they're going to own home court. I think that they're going to win. This is a spot where, I was thinking about getting on an alt line, but I haven't done yet. And I'm unfortunately not able to do so right now.
Let's keep rolling, Max. You are running beautifully here. Thank you for taking the time to break down all these games for us. Next up, Jay Peasy. He wants to know about rotation number 701, 702, Chicago State, Abilene Christian. This total has gone from 140 to either 138.5 or 138. And the spread has gone from Abilene Christian as 17-point favorites to 18 or 18.5. Max, take it away.
Yeah, I think that these are one of the games where you don't want to necessarily get on a line that's this high, but with Chicago State, they have been a little better this year. It's definitely related to Bryce Johnson being back in the lineup. That's a big deal for them. And I think that at the end of the day, I don't want to take Abilene at this number, but I do want to look at something along the lines of their team total. It worked out for me yesterday with Michigan. I think it can work out again today. I see a line right now at Pinnacle at 77.5, and I'm going to take that. I think that this is a game where Chicago State's defense is going to allow them to definitely give up some points. We've seen teams struggle aside from Utah Valley as of late, and I think that trend changes right now. So I'm rolling with Abilene Christian team total over 77.5. That's going to be an official play.
Abilene Christian team total over 77.5. What was the juice on that?
I got -114.
-114. Let's try and see if we can get Max anything better, less juice or anything like that, because it's extremely difficult, Max, having to make official picks that are available right now for you to bet right now. It adds such an extra element of difficulty. So if we can get him the best juice available, the lowest VIG, it would be doing him a richly deserved favor. Okay, Max, next up we have from our guy T-Mac. He's looking at UMBC Albany. Albany opening up as 2-point favorites. It's kind of all over the board here. We see 1.5, 2, and 2.5. From a total perspective, we have it opening up at 132.5. It's at 133.5 or 134.5 as well. So take it away here, UMBC Albany, Max.
Yeah, Albany's going to win games with their perimeter defense. They're going to do it with getting Trey Hutchinson 3-point opportunities, and they're going to do it with a good balanced team effort. I think in the game against Albany, there is the potential for a letdown after playing probably one of your best first halves of basketball and then obviously falling apart. I think that Jamel Horton, he's got to be the star player for this Albany team on a game-to-game basis, and he's done a really good job being able to do that. I think that with Chuck Champion and Matt Cerruti and Trey Hutchinson, you do have good complementary scoring for this Albany team, and that's the only way that I'm looking at it. I have a problem betting this UMBC team on the road, and I know that this is a line where they just have to win, but I think that Paul Newman, the Bucknell transfer, is the difference maker for them, and he comes out, gives you a little bit of an outlier game, and leads Albany to a win.
Up next, Max, we have a big one. This comes to us from our guy, Ryan Kozlowski. He's looking at rotation number 691, 692, Notre Dame, Miami Hurricanes. Miami, the total opens up at 144, has dropped down all the way down to 141 and a half. And then the spread here opened up with Miami as 5-point home favorites. That's dropped to 4.5 at most books. Max, take it away. Irish Hurricanes.
Yeah, this is a spot where I'm very confident in Miami. I know that the situation would be like, yes, Notre Dame is in a situational rebound spot. They had a terrible offensive performance, and they're going to be able to have an easier time scoring against this Miami defense. However, I just think that this Miami team is really good. I think that when you look at the numbers, this is a team that I think that the numbers going the wrong way. If it was going closer towards 7, then I would be a little more scared off and a lot more interested in backing Notre Dame. But if you're telling me that I can get 4.5, you know where I'm going, Jim. Like, I'm going to take Miami, but I'm not going to take that number. I'm going to take the number I want, and the number I want is 7. So I think that when we look at it at plus 125, it's a good number. Let's lock in Miami, -7, plus 125.
Miami -7 at plus 125. And Krista Hood just hooked us up with a great number for you on FanDuel for Missouri first half money line. It's gone up. We've had everybody respecting how hard it is to put out these current lines that you do. And so we found a plus 158 at FanDuel. Thank you, Chris, for that.
Appreciate it.
All right. Miami -7 at plus 125. We are rolling nice. Only 5 more minutes of Maxwell Smart here. So we're not going to be able to get to everybody's games, but I love that everybody cares so much about it. Next up is a man that's near and dear to my heart, and that's Ron Walsack, who's had Pistol Pete Loshak and Mike back since day one. He's looking at this Army Loyola spot, Max. Let me see if I can grab the rotation number for everybody. It is, it's the extra game, so I don't have the rotation number here, but let's do it here. Army opening up at +4 at -109. They've moved to +4 at -104. Although there are 4.5s on the board now, and from a total perspective, we have it opening up at 137.5 and really no movement, Max. A couple books have dropped the hook. Take it away, Army, Loyola, Maryland.
Yeah, this was a game that I spoke with Mike Mike Richards this morning about, and I'm all about Army. I'm the Patriot League governor, people. Let's remember that shit. And Noli knows maybe the president of the Patriot League, but the governor is the face of the freaking league. And I'm here. I'm ready to go, and I'm back in fucking Army. You know why? Because Matt Dove is exactly what Army needs. No offense to Charlie Peterson. He's a serviceable front court player, but Matt Dove gives you that freaking extra height. He gives you that freaking better play around the rim, better finisher, and he can freaking make his free throws more often than Peterson. I think that this is a game where obviously you get a very determined Loyola Maryland team, but is this a team that Cam Spencer can go off on? I'm not so sure. He did not look good last time out. He was hitting front rim on a lot of shots. Maybe there's an injury there. I don't know. But by the numbers, Army is the play. I think that when you look at them, Jalen Rucker and his dribble penetration, Isaiah and Josh Caldwell both able to hit the mid-range and the three-point shot, and then Aaron Duhart facilitating that offense and being able to contribute on the glass. I like Army. It's a little biased, but the number backs them, the stats back them, and I think that they can go in and give Loyola a fight, if not beat them.
Let's keep rolling right along, Max. We don't have much more time with you. Next up, we have Bill McDonald. Bill McDonald wanting to know about this VMI UNC Greensboro spot. The total's gone from 137.5 down to 136.5 or 135.5. And UNC Greensboro has gone from 2.5 point favorites to 2 or 1.5. Max, take it away.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have anything on this game except that I would lean towards the under. I agree with the move. VMI wants to get that score up. They want to score into the 70s. Greensboro does not want them to get past 65. So definitely lean towards the under there.
And big giant shout out to Crystal Warren. Man, we love capping with you so much. Happy birthday. Thank you for hanging with us on the special day for you. We have so much love for you, Crystal. Thank you for rolling with us, man. You make our team so much stronger. Happy, happy, happy birthday. I hope it's a great, great year for you. All right, this will be Max's last game. I'm sorry we didn't get to and then so we'll do Crystal's. Crystal added a game here, so sorry if we didn't get to your games, but Crystal wants a game, so we will get to it. Let's pull it up right now, and it is the Citadel game, Max. Citadel Furman, rotation number 665, 666. Furman opening up as 16.5 point favorites. It's pretty much there now. A couple books have them at 16, and the total has gone from 147.5 to 150.5. Max, this is for the birthday girl, Crystal Warren.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy birthday, Crystal. And I agree with you. You know, I do think that this total can get past 150. Of course, we are getting a little bit of the worst of the number because it did open up at 147.5. However, I still think that we have a little bit of wiggle room. I personally think that the best way to attack it is to hit the first half over. And at 71, I think that that's a number that both these teams can get over. Furman is a team that definitely can get into the 150s. We have to see Jalen Slauson and Mike Bothwell and Alex Hunter lead them offensively. They're all 15-point per game scorers. And on their home floor versus Citadel team that can beat you if you don't bring your offense, I expect fireworks. So I like the first half over, Jim. That would be my last official play.
The first half over in the Citadel game. Let's align. You know what? Let's line shop. While I'm line shopping right now, Max, we are so thankful to cap with you, man. You are running so hot, putting cash in everybody's pockets. We absolutely love it. I'm going to line shop for this first half over in the Citadel game. Let's review Max's plays, and then I will line shop while he gives us some final words, because you've made Pistol Pete Loshak want to try harder with his outros because they don't come close to what you deliver to us on a daily basis. Wisconsin team total over 64.5 minus 107. Missouri first half plus 158. Stony Brook minus 9.5 at plus 125. Abilene Christian team total over 77.5 at minus 114. Miami minus 7 at plus 125. And I'm going to line shop for this Citadel first half over, Max. Before we get into NBA, Max, my man, any last words, any food for thought for us?
Yeah, listen, guys, all we have to do to support Jimmy and all the hard work that he's been doing for us for years is to just click, click, click. It's very easy. I think that we need to do that more, and that's all I want, you know. I enjoy coming on with you guys. I enjoy talking with you guys. I enjoy breaking down college basketball. I just want us to grow the show for Jimmy, and hopefully we can keep on pumping out the winners. With the NBA guys, they are fucking with their eyes open. Like, come on. Like, when was the last time Darryl lost a bet on this show? Like, goddamn, the guy's on absolute fire. The bookies are looking to take him out. So there's so many guys that come on the show and give you guys the good info. Look at Gogi and the shit that he just put out. Come on, man. Like, Belly Vegas, shout out to that shit right there. So that's all I got to say. No, nothing about chicken tenders or strippers today. Let's just support Jimmy, because look at him. He's a great guy, bro.
Thank you, Max, my man. Great, great work. You can catch Max every day, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, alongside Connor Mack. We found him a great first half, over 71.5 and -107 at Circa. So there it is, 6 bets for Max. And man, is he running hot. Let's just go over his record one more time because it's so impressive. And, you know, when you do this for a long period of time, you really earn respect for success and tracking somebody transparently and honesty and seeing that success, because it's very rare in this business. And that's why I maybe mention the record too often, but it's because I'm like a proud father. 89 and 77, 53.6% plus 11.98 units, ROI plus 7.22%, average line plus 101. We love you, Max. Have a great show today, my man. There he is, Maxwell Smart.
Cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah.
We go from college basketball to the National Basketball Association, and the hottest capper in the business. I don't believe in the 5 years that I've been doing this, anybody has gone 16 for 17 on spread bets before. And your next guest is doing it. And I also, we don't believe in, bullshit like I'm going to jinx it, talking about it or luck or any of that. No, we cap hard and we try to tail our next guest as much as possible. His recent run has also elevated my game, and I'm very thankful for that because my record was atrocious, and I'm coming back. I'm coming back day by day. Thanks to your next guest. Please welcome to the show, coming to us live from Los Angeles, California, Darryl Rice in the house. It's Derl, baby.
Yo. What is good, Jimmy, man? What is good? Thanks for having me back, brother. It is any day on this side of the grass is a good day. That's what I say. Looked at some games, been quite all right, been doing good even off the show. So I hope to carry that energy with me, man. Hope to carry that Brian Flores energy with me into the Black History Month celebration. So this is my month, man. Let's get it.
I love it. I love it. And I mean, 16 of 17 is unheard of. And then you add into the I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is play today, which I don't know if it's ever missed before, which is just nuts. And I don't care if we talk about, I'm not worried about talking about, I'm not knocking on shit. I don't need to. We keep talking about it. It keeps cashing, and I can't wait to hear your action. I have moved on one bet. I moved on one bet today. I did take the Sacramento Kings +4. I was about to press the button on the Denver Nuggets +110 money line, and it moved to +125. Literally, like while I was doing it, and then I just stopped. I said, okay, just take a breath, talk it out with Darryl.
Let's talk it out.
Do this because that surprised me. So I just stopped everything. I said, okay, let's just get to work. Let's get to work right now. Thank you guys all for joining us. We have It's Derl in the house with his recent spectacular run. He's now up double-digit units. So he joins Maxwell Smart in college basketball and Jose Bouquet overall. At the last sport, I was in double-digit units. We have to go back to the CFL this year. That's I have no double-digit units in front of me right now. But Derl is 39 and 27, hitting at 59.1% plus 10.15 units, ROI plus 15.3%, 15.38%, average line -106. And Dutch, who's on tomorrow, is 26 and 16, 61.9% plus 9.03 units. You guys are just capping spectacularly well. Let's get to work. We start our cap here with, let me pull it back. Here we go. A bet I almost made. I almost took the Magic +4, but I thought this is a very complicated spot, and I prefer to talk it out with you guys. And the big reason why I didn't is simply that Orlando's 1-9, playing the second game of a back-to-back this season. And why would I walk into that? Why would I know that stat and walk into that? Do I think that they've matured throughout the season? Yes, I do. But still, I need to talk it out first. This total supposedly here by the Action Network says it opened at 219. It's all the way up to 226.5 or 227, which is shocking. From the spread, it opened up with Magic plus 4.5, and now Magic plus 3.5. So that kind of bothers me that I didn't pull the trigger right now. Magic 11 and 46 and 22 on the road. Pacers 19 and 33, 13 and 13 at home. Cambridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. Orlando 3 and 2 over their past 5, 7th in pace at 99.80 possessions a game. The Pacers 2 and 3, 5th in pace at 100.90 possessions a game. Magic on the second half of a back-to-back after having their 2-game winning streak snap last night in the 126-115 loss at Chicago. Wendell Carter Jr. had 24 points and 8 rebounds. Wham was very bullish on Wendell Carter Jr. last night, and unfortunately doubled up. Also had the double-double, and so he had the points over 14.5, which he cleared easily. And it's too bad. It sucks when you are right. You are absolutely right, and then you don't get the cash that comes along with being right. Wagner goes for 22. Magic have lost 6 straight to the Pacers. There was a couple red flags here why I didn't pull the trigger at plus 4. Pacers have won 2 of 3. They're coming in off a 122-116 win at home over the Clippers on Monday night, and look at the players that they're doing with. I mean, Isaiah Jackson, Terry Taylor, Duarte, those 3 combined for 65 points and 27 boards. Including Dwayne Washington Jr., so all of them. Karis LeVert, 21st consecutive game in double figures with 17. He got 9 assists and 7 boards, really leading the team. And Domantas Sabonis has entered the league's health and safety protocol on Monday. So Bidadzi, foot injury, Brissett, ankle injury are questionable. You got Brogdon with the Achilles, McConnell with wrist surgery, Miles Turner with the foot, and TJ Warren. We should just stop mentioning his name. Take it away here. First game on the card, Darryl. Let's go.
Yeah, not much. I mean, we can pass on this game. Keep your money here. Keep your money, honestly. It feels like this should be an Orlando game, right? So if you are a degen or degenerate gambler, right, one thing I have noticed is that the games, and it's weird saying it, so I might not even say it right. The games that Orlando covers, they win. And the games that they lose, right? So it's just depending on who you think will win this game. If you believe Orlando will win this game, then just take the money line for the better value, right? Take a money line for the better value, because in their last 10 body of work, they're winning games and they're covering those spreads. You can't say that for Indiana, right? They could technically win a game but not cover the spread, right? But all in all, this is one of these things. If you're going to look at Orlando, maybe look at them early. They are 6 and 4 in their last 10 first half ATS. It is a back-to-back for Orlando. They have been playing a pretty good body of work as of recently, but they still suck. It's still Orlando, right? It's still Orlando, bro. Like, what are we even talking about? Like, I know just for the sake of talking out these games, we got to talk about them, but I'm not playing one fucking hay penny on this game at all. If you're going to look at a side, maybe look at the over. But yeah, I don't have any look on this game. Maybe for best value, if you're going to look at this game at a side's perspective, just take a little bit of money and just bet it on Orlando for the money line, get a better value.
We have 5,043 tickets in, 40% of the tickets on the spread are on the Magic, 52% of the cash, while on the total we have 62% of tickets on the over and 56% of the cash. Dan Kelly says, I bet a lot of money lines because usually teams are trying to win. And says, thank you for proving my point, Brian Flores. And Ski Prophet said, I'd argue Magic are 6 and 23 straight up on the road, but 16 and 13 against the spread.
Got my man Ski and Dutch in here, man.
Yeah,
all right.
great. It's great.
I love those brothers, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't give a shit. Okay, I'm a fanboy. I'll admit that shit with a heartbeat. I'm a fanboy. I just like the way those boys get out. So yeah, and don't bet this fucking game. I mean, right now they're averaging in their last 3. They're averaging 227 points, right? 227 points. So. That 226.5, I'm not afraid of, but I mean, there's no reason why we should be playing this goddamn game, not unless you're really, really looking for money.
Yeah, I do feel like the Magic are a team that's, clearly you can't say that they're blossoming or anything like that, but they're maturing, and they have players who want to be on the floor. The fact, though, is that you can say the same thing, not about the maturing or anything like that, but that Isaiah Jackson, Dwayne Washington Jr., Terry Taylor, Duarte, they want to be on the floor.
Yeah.
Levert is playing with a lot of leadership out there, and I don't like that I missed the 4, but I stopped at the 1-9 second game of a back-to-back. It just stopped me in my tracks, and but I still kind of like the Magic here. So
yeah, I mean, if you like the Magic, take the extra money. Just, I mean, take a little bit of money, man, and just put it on the Magic money line. I mean, you saw that game against Chicago. It stayed close until, you know, the end of the fourth quarter, just about, right? And they got it away, but where they didn't score any buckets for like the last few minutes.
That's 4:23 or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, that was a 0-0 game. So Orlando is getting healthier with Bamba, you know, playing more often. Cole Anthony, you know, I never liked him, but he is starting to kind of blossom, if you will. It was a dunk fest in that game yesterday. I just don't know if they have the legs on a back-to-back. What is this? Are we talking about a back-to-back travel, right, for Orlando?
Yeah.
So I don't have any action.
Chicago to Indiana is not bad, but still, it's still an issue. Okay. Well, I'm going to stay. The trepidation will continue with that spot. Let's move on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Charlotte Hornets 28-23, 14-15 on the road at Boston Celtics 27-25, 17-10 at home. TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Here's another spot where I was like, you know, I mean, we've been succeeding so much on teams bouncing back, you know, and I was looking at this spot and I was like, God, how would the Hornets not bounce back from this 115-90 loss at home, the shocking loss to the Clippers on Sunday? But the Celtics have been destroying teams. And then this was another spot where I was like, do I move on the Hornets or should I wait? And I decided, let's wait. And it's good I did wait because Hornets open up as 5-point dogs. There's a 6.5 now at BetMGM. So the move is moving towards Boston, who are playing so well. This total's gone from 221.5 to 223.5. We move over to where the cash lies here. 6,935 tickets in. 56% of the tickets, 68% of the cash on the Boston Celtics. Then you have 68% of the tickets on the over, but just 15% of the cash on the over, which is very, very interesting. And the last time the Celtics had, now this may grow, we'll see, but it was against the Kings. The Kings were 8.5, became 9-point dogs, and I was interested in them. But I saw how the big bets were coming in on the Celtics, even at that number. And then the Celtics beat them by like 50, and that stuck in my head. Charlotte 2-3 over their past 5, second in pace at 101.90 possessions a game. Boston 4-1 over the past 5, 23rd in pace at 96.90 possessions a game. And the studying, by the way, for everyone who rolls with me, I had a problem. I struggled with totals until I started capping with Ski Profit, and he said, focus on the last 5 games. So when you see me always doing the last 5 games with my pace, that is something I learned from Ski Profit, because we never stop learning and we hang around with great cappers, and we're all on the same team. We're all trying to get more cash in our lives, take our everything to the next level, get our unit size up, and all that good stuff. Hornets had their modest 2-game winning streak snapped in that ugly 115-90 home loss. Hornets played without Hayward's health and safety protocol, and Kelly Oubre left ankle sprain, 90 points, 32.7% shooting. Celtics come on in off their second straight win, 122-92 at home to the Heat on Monday. Jaylen Brown, 29, Tatum, 20. Marcus Smart goes for 16 and 7. Schroeder and Langford are, you know, Achilles injury, heel injury. They're playing a little bit. It's unclear how healthy they are out there. Celtics shot 52.4% from the field, 16 3-pointers. They've won 4 of their last 5 and have outscored opponents by an average of 30.5 points in those victories. They're smash and grabbing. Take it away here, Derl, Hornets, Celtics.
Yeah, I made a move. I like Charlotte first quarter plus 1.5. Charlotte first quarter plus 1.5. You can see right now, this is the 3rd time they've played. If I'm right, I believe the away team actually wins, right? So whomever the away team is going to win the game. That's at least how it's gone. Charlotte does have the rest advantage here. Boston is going to go on the road tomorrow, I believe. Or are they playing? Yeah, they're going to Detroit on today's the 2nd. So they'll have a day off. Excuse me. They'll have a day off. They get on a plane and travel to Detroit, where they'll have like the next 3 games are going to be, you know, traveling, if you will. The one thing I like about this game is that they are familiar with each other. We are missing Hayward, which sucks. The first time they played in the first quarter, it was 33-33. The second time they played, Boston got them 27-25. I do like where the averages are, though. If you look at Charlotte's last 3 average in their game, they're averaging 29 points in the first quarter. If you look at what Boston is doing, Boston's a little further down on the bottom where their season average is 26, but they are averaging 24 points in the first quarter, right? And that was after a 27-point first quarter. So looking at Hornets now, I believe the look is Charlotte Hornets first quarter, only because of what the numbers have said in their recent body of work. And also, really, it's because of that loss to the Clippers, right? I think that's a loss that they probably wanted to get back with. Besides that, they were on a 2-game winning streak. I'm really a big fan of the Charlotte first quarter look here. You know what their spread is, or you know what are they what, 7-3?
What, covering over the last 10?
Over the last 10.
Yeah, I don't have that in front of me, but I can tell you this.
No. Yeah, first quarter they're actually bad. First quarter they're 4-6. But yeah, I did already step on it here. So I can't even think of the word for it. Their record right now. That's what I was looking for. Their record. God damn. Their record in the last 10 is 4-6-1. But this is just a place here to where Boston could possibly get back and, get back into their winning ways like they are doing. But this is a game where I believe that loss to the Clippers, the extra rest advantage here, Borrego's going to have them coached up enough to at least get the first quarter done, if not keep it very close. So I do like them to win the first quarter outright. So I'm cool with the Charlotte plus 1.5 first quarter. I already stepped on it and made a play on that game.
Well, good news. I can get you 2. I can get you plus 2 with very little VIG at minus 106. So for those of you guys joining us, Derl had won 16 straight before losing a first quarter bet on the Timberwolves late Friday night. So this is he's 16 in a row. So he's hit 16 of his last 17, and this is his first spot on the board. Hornets first quarter plus 2 minus 106. That's spread bets, because Pascal Siakam did hurt him in the prop market.
Pissant.
Next up, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Memphis Grizzlies 35-18, 16-9 on the road at New York Knicks, 24-27, 13-14 at home. Madison Square Garden, New York. Memphis 3-2 over their past 5, 20th in pace, 97.76 possessions a game, while the Knicks are 2-3, 22nd in pace at 97.10 possessions a game. This is the most bet on game by a wide margin in the market right now, and this is interesting. 7% of the tickets are on the New York Knicks, 7%, and 52% of the cash.
Mm-hmm.
Big bets have come in on the New York Knicks. We don't have the money total on the total. We just have that 55% of tickets are on the total. But wow, let's go to the Action Network and see what has happened. So the total really hasn't changed. Depending on where you shop, it opened at 217. You can get it 216.5 or 217.5. But from a spread perspective, the Knicks opened up as 2-point dogs. They're now 3.5 or 4-point dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So huge bets have come in on the Knicks. This is wild. I love hearing about this stuff. Pound Cake said trap game for the Grizzlies. I like the money line. Paulie Walnut says Grizz trifecta. T-Mac Grizz first half Knicks full game. Billy Friedrich says Knicks 8-2 last 10 at home. Grizz 7-3 last 10 against the spread on the road. Memphis had their 3-game winning streak snapped in a 122-119 overtime loss at the Sixers on Monday night. They're just 5-4 since winning 11 straight. Ja has gone for 30 for a franchise record 7 straight games, averaging 35.4 points over that stretch. 37 Monday. But he missed all 5 threes and 9 turnovers. 9 of the Grizzlies' 14 turnovers. Knicks snapped their 3-game losing streak Monday night with a 116-96 win at home over Sacramento. Alec Burks led the Knicks with 21. Fournier went for 18. I do not want – if I was a coach, I don't want to see them in my backcourt. If I'm a gambler, I don't want to have my money on the line with Burks and Fournier. But they played well against Sacramento. New York 2-6 over their past 8. Take it away here, Darryl. Grizzlies Knicks.
Yeah, I'm all over the Grizz. I took them early. I got them at 3.5. I saw what Paulie said. This could easily be a Grizz trifecta. Now, this is the first time that I've done this type of bet, and I'll tell you why. This bet for me, even before I looked at it and the numbers, was a narrative bet. And what I said to myself was, we all know that the most shit-talking team in the league right now is Memphis Grizzlies, right? You have teams that actually get mad at how much they talk. You had Chris Vernon that came out and said, you can hear Ja's dad from the Raptors, you know what I'm saying? Like just talking major head on this, against any opponent they play. What happened to Memphis in Philly, man, was really that game got away in the first quarter. It got away, and they could just never get it back. And the problem with that is I think they looked at that roster, they felt themselves, and they was like, this is a game that we can just steamroll and go on it. Just steamroll, basically, and just knock them out the park. That wasn't the case. That wasn't the case here. I believe that it was a wake-up call from Memphis, and this is a team that they are going to handle easily. I do believe this is a trifecta. And so I've come close to playing the first quarter and first half. I looked at some numbers. Memphis is ranked 8th in the league, first half and first quarter ATS. Knicks are last in first quarter ATS. Last, right? So it's not a team that's just going to start off early, right? So I believe this is a spot here to where, Memphis got their feelings hurt, right? Even though it was an overtime game and they had to play strong to get it to overtime and lose, they lost in the first quarter in that game. So this is a game that I like. I took Memphis Grizzlies -3.5 early, but I honestly believe, and I don't do it very, very often because I know there's so many moving parts with the game, but this can be a wire-to-wire game for Memphis. It really can. So now you start looking at the number, right? Like, why is that number so low? Why did it open up at -2, right? Why did it do that? It's one of these things now to where it opened at -2. You have so much on one side. There was something that Ski actually opened my eyes up to, and that was, this is something I think is more political, and it's with the books trying to get some money back onto the New York Knicks side, because this is one of those things to where they could probably break the books, to a sense to where there's so much money on Grizzly side that if they don't do something to manipulate that number to try to get some money onto New York, then could be something that hurts them in the long run, right? So I believe the opening of that number was wrong. I believe the book is trying to correct itself, and it really can't. But this is a game to where if Memphis loses this game, I'm going to have to really step back and look at them. I know they don't play defense for what it's worth, but this is still a hot team. I don't care about Steven Adams possibly not playing or not, because you still have long wings. I mean, the thing about RJ Barrett, and I've said this earlier, is he can't play against really long, lengthy guys, right? That's what his problem is. There's still some type of issue with Julius Randle. You saw the video of him not helping up Obi Toppin after that dunk or whatever. So I believe there's still a little bit of confusion in New York, and I believe this is a get-right game for Memphis. So I stepped on Memphis -3.5. This is probably a trifecta. So I'm probably going to lean the trifecta. Maybe when it gets closer to the window time, to game time rather. I'm telling you, this is going to be something where you'll probably get a late tweet from me, like, Jimmy, add these two onto the game. But yeah, for right now, I've taken it. Memphis -3.5. If it's still 4, I'll take the 4. I'll take the 4.
I can get you a 3.5 at circa. It's -114.
What's -4?
Sorry, I believe -4 is -105, and I did skip Wizards Sixers. I apologize. We'll go back to Wizards Sixers after that. Thank you for letting me know about that. And shout out to Kyle Hindley, and thank you so much for that dono, my man. Thank you for your support.
Thanks,
Saw you hit that big board bet last night. Love that chip. My apologies for skipping the Wizards game. I'll go back. Let me see. So the 3.5. So I can get you -4, -105.
Just do the 4. Just do the 4.
-4 and -105. Let's just see if I can. Yeah, and that's the same at Pinnacle, so there's no difference there. Okay, that is locked in for you. The second spot on the board, and we'll see if Darryl wants to add to that to the first quarter or first half, but right now he's got full game -4 at -105, and we got to watch what the successful cappers are doing. And right there, it was about keeping his vig down, especially if there's going to be a volume of action. So that's what he's doing there. And then we have interesting stats sort of on both sides of the fence here. We have Lit Pick saying Knicks are 2-5 as a home dog, straight up 8-15 after a win. Grizz are 11-6 straight up after an L. Grizzlies spot. But then you have Mike M saying losing is contagious. Memphis after OT loss, 0-6 in the next game. So you have both sides of the table kind of covered there. So very interesting.
0-6 and OT losses. I mean, I would like to see how
OT
recent those are. I mean, I mean, we either take these micro perspectives or these macro perspectives, right? So, I mean, the numbers are the numbers. They speak for themselves. They don't lie. But I like to look at things, like you were saying earlier, a more recent body of work, what they're doing. And the reason why is honestly, I mean, if you are a pro athlete, you have to have amnesia. You do not think about what happened the night before, right? If you lost, you lost, and you just get on with it. Now it's a new day. It's a new game. I promise you, Memphis wants to get up here.
Yeah, no, I feel you. And Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play today, also Memphis -3.5. All right, let's backtrack. I apologize for this, though. I skipped the game somehow. We moved to 7 p.m. Eastern. Washington Wizards 23-26, 10-14 on the road at Philadelphia 76, 31-19, 14-10 at home at Wells Fargo Center in Philly. Washington 0-5 over their past 5 games, not playing good basketball. 24th in pace, 96.70 possessions a game. Philly 5-0 over the past 5. 25th in pace at 96.10 possessions a game. Move over to the Action Network and see what this opened at. Open with the Wizards as 9-point dogs. They're now 10 or 10.5-point dogs. And from a total perspective, we have it opening up at 215.5 and now 213 or 213.5. When we go over, take a look at where the cash lies. We have 6,733 tickets in, 57% of the tickets on the Sixers, and 99% of the cash. So, I mean, it's early with just 6,700 tickets in, but clearly a huge bet has been made on the Sixers. 58% of tickets on the under, 57% of cash. 58% of tickets, 57% of cash. Wizards on second half of back-to-back after losing 112-98 at the Bucks last night. It was a great breakdown by us as a team yesterday on backing the Bucks first quarter and the Wizards team total under. It was a great first quarter. Great way to get the night off for me. I was just fist pumping and drinking with my shirt off. It was fucking magic. Kyle Kuzma led the Wizards with 25 points, 11 boards. Harrell goes for 20. KCP goes for 12. But, you know, with Beal out at least another week with this ligament strain in his left wrist, they didn't look good. And then Thomas Bryant went down with a sprained ankle, which is the injury is being called significant. So we don't expect him in the lineup here tonight. Sixers coming off their fifth straight win, 122-19 at home over Memphis. We were just speaking on that. Embiid out of the lineup, and Drummond went off. 16 points, 23 boards, 5 assists. Maxey goes for 33. Tobias Harris goes for 31. T-Max already on. Philly -9.5. Cuban Connect took the same play. Oh, he's back on the same play Pete did yesterday. Wizards first half team total under for Cuban Connect. Let's hear what Darryl has to say here. Wizards, Sixers.
I don't give a shit about this game, Jay.
So
I don't give a shit about this game at all, right? I don't. I mean, Wizards got them last game, right? But just looking at the numbers, Philly only put up 27% from the three. So Philly should really get it done. But you have heard what is the narrative with Philly? They played up or down to their competition, right? Philly is not that great, especially last 10 in the first half. They're 3-7. You know, they're averaging points now in their last 3 games. Philly is at 55.7. Washington Wizards is at 49. So I think the first half on that is -6. I mean, that's cutting it close to as is. So it's just one of those games I don't want to be involved in. But Philly should just come out here and smack the shit out of them. Bottom line. Embiid didn't even play last game. The reserves played, if you want to call them that, and they got on Memphis. Kick their ass and, like, you know, get about your way. So this is a game I don't want to get involved in. If I'm just blindly looking at it, I would take Philly, but 10.5 is a lot of points for me. Even if I wanted to cut down the points in the first half, -6 is still a lot of points. What their body of work in the first half that Philly is doing is not that good. It's not even 5-5, right? They're below average. They're below average. And then looking at Wizards first quarter ATS right now, if you were to look at their first quarter ATS for the Wizards, they are 4-6. First half ATS for the Wizards, they're dead last, 3-6-1. But Philly, yeah, if you want to look at Philly, maybe look at them early and just kind of coin flip it. But Philly would be the side either way. This is another game to where I feel that Embiid's going to eat, even though you do got a couple of bigs there, you know, in Rui and Daniel Gafford, right, with Washington. But Washington, I mean, at the same time, do you want to bet on Washington? They've lost 6 games in a row. Like, what are they showing you? Right? What are they showing you? So it's one of those things to where let Philly do their thing, do it early, maybe get in and out, and then just bounce off the game. I mean, Philly don't give a shit about Washington. They don't care, but it could be a revenge game. Right, but I don't give a shit about this game, so I'm off of it.
That's fun. That's funny. Nice ending there. Dan Bonner says, diehard Philly everything fan. Philly's a great team to bet against live. They love to give back leads. I could see Philly getting a big in the first half, then letting them climb back. Piker says maybe they'll come out flat. We get something juicy second half with Philly. And by the way, bets coming in that you can make right now for games this afternoon. We have Kyle Hintlian on Senegal to win, the -115 on DraftKings. And Sammy Calmer saying hate fading the fairy tale team, but like it, Kyle, on the Senegal bet. And then we have Dennis Garcia, Olympic mixed curling, Great Britain moneyline -115 to beat Canada. Those are going on right now. All right, let's move on to 8 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Cavaliers, or shortly. You can still get in on them. Cleveland Cavaliers 31-20, 15-11 on the road at Houston Rockets 14-36, 7-16 at home. We're at Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Cleveland 4-1 over their past 5, 30th in pace at 93.70 possessions a game. Houston 1-4, 10th in pace at 99.20 possessions a game. We have the Cavs. Well, the total opening up at 218.5 is now at 219.5. Cavs open up as 3-point road favorites. That moves quickly to 4.5, and some books like DraftKings and PointsBet have moved it to 5, and Bet365 as well has moved it to 5. When we look at the cash flow here, we have 6,367 tickets in. 16% of the tickets are on the Rockets and 86% of the cash, which is shocking because this market's moving quickly towards the Cavs, but the public is all over the Cavs at this point. Clearly, just some bets have come in on the Rockets, and with the Garland injury, I can't wait to break down this.
Right.
85% of the tickets on the over, 92% of cash on the over. Cavs won their fourth in 5 games, 93-90 at home over the Pelicans on Monday night. Even without Garland, they found a way to win. 9 wins in 11 games. I'd love to hear what Dan thinks of this because it was Chetty Osman at the point guard, and then Brandon Goodwin came in and looked great. I mean, and those two guys combined for 28 points and 13 assists. But I don't know if that can continue, and I'd love to hear the breakdowns from you guys here. Cavaliers were already without Markkanen, then they lose Garland. I mean, it's and they keep winning. They're bigger staff doing just a hell of a job. Rockets lost their 4th straight game, 122-108 at home versus the Warriors on Monday night. They've now lost 11 straight games at home. Can they turn it around here? Do you agree with the market movement towards the Cavs? Take it away, Derl.
Yeah, I agree with it. Now, if you know, we already know where you've been making money with Cleveland, right? Now, they won that Orlando game, but they damn sure didn't cover. Right? So if you're going to play Cleveland, you play them first quarter, first half. That's just about as square as it gets. The problem with that is, as of late, that first quarter, they're not really as dominant, or it's not really a guarantee that they're going to get it. It's not really a guarantee. I would take first quarter and first half easily with this squad if Garland was in. I just don't like it that now you don't have Garland in the game, that he does a lot more than just score. Believe it or not, he's a floor general. He's going to give you those points, right? But now that you have him off, you have Lauri Markkanen off, who's really, he's a good big man, right? They're not short on big men, right? But now you're leaving more responsibility on Love, who's a veteran, on Evan Mobley, who's also, a rookie that's just shining bright, and then Jared Allen. And now you got somebody like Rondo, who is Rondo even playing today, right? So this team is starting to lose people, and eventually it's going to catch up to you. Now, will Houston be the team that gets them? Hell no. Hell no. Right? Houston should lose this game. If I'm going with my gut, this is a wire-to-wire game as well. But I just don't like that you don't have Garland in there, man. Garland is very, very important. And so because of that, I wanted to stay off the game completely. If they were being more dominant in their first quarter and first halves in a more recent body of work, then I would just jump back on that train. Right. But in their last 10, they're 5-5. So they are starting to lose these close games. You saw that little, if you want to call it a little kind of miniature scuffle or verbal scuffle, Kevin Porter's a little chippy right now, man. Yeah. He's a little chippy right now. So, I mean, do you have these guys just try to come out and play ball? Houston does suck. They continue to lose games, but remember, there was a point in time where they had won quite a few games in a row. So does that happen again? I don't know. But against a Cleveland Cavaliers team, in my opinion, they got to go to Charlotte. Is this a look-ahead game for Cleveland? Are you already game planning for Charlotte, who had their embarrassing loss against the Clippers, who's going to probably try to do something tonight? I don't know. So this is a game that I'm also off. But if I'm going to tell you to get to a side, take Cleveland first half.
Very interesting breakdown. I find the NBA the most fun sport to cap. There's just so many interweaving storylines nonstop.
Yeah.
Dan Kelly has moved on the Cavaliers. That's why it was breaking my heart starting out the way I did this year, because I was like, what is this just going to take all the fun away from this sport that's so enjoyable, where there's so many great cappers to work with? I was like, oh, God. First quarter Cavs -1 for Dan Kelly, and the Denver Nuggets +3. And it's still +3 in my book, although the money line's gone from +125 to +120. Those of you who've joined us late, I came so close to betting the Nuggets money line +110. And before I pressed it, it moved to +125 in front of me. And I was like, I got to talk this out with Derl. So it's nice to see that Dan Kelly's on. Dan Kelly, Denver +3, Cavs -1. Shout out to our Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly in the house. We move on. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Oklahoma City Thunder 15-34, 6-18 on the road to Dallas Mavericks, 29-22, 16-9 at home. American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Oklahoma City 1-4, 15th in pace over their past 5, 98.35 possessions game, while Dallas 3-2, 18th in pace at 97.90 possessions a game. Let's start with the market or the line move here. Thunder opening up as 11.5-point dogs. That's moved to 12 or 12.5. This total opening up at 207.5 is now at 206.5 or 205.5. So we have a total that is dropping. When we move over to see where the cash lies, we have 6,418 tickets on the game. 32% of the tickets are on the Thunder and 41% of the cash, which is interesting because the market's moving towards Dallas. We've had a lot of that today. Then we have 17% of tickets on the under and 32% of cash. So the public's on the over, and yet this is dropping to 205.5. So we're getting a lot of mixed messages. Thunder come in off snapping their 7-game losing streak with a 98-81 win at home over the Blazers. First game since Shea left with the right ankle sprain, that will keep him out till after the All-Star break. So Josh Giddey continuing to step up, the youngest player since LeBron James to hit 500 points, 200 boards, 200 assists, doing it in just 44 games. Mavs had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a surprise 110-108 loss at Orlando on Sunday. So we have the Mavs who will be without Porzingis, without Hardaway, and without Sterling Brown. Porzingis will be out for a second straight game with right knee soreness. Hardaway expected to probably miss the rest of the season after undergoing surgery on his left foot. Brown will miss his 8th straight game because of a foot injury as well. But the Mavs have gone 12-4 in January. We move on to February now. And the Thunder were just 2-12 in January, but they're coming off a 98-81 victory at home over the Blazers. Take it away, Darryl. Thunder, Mavs.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Give me Dallas first quarter minus I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. Dallas first quarter, I got it at -4. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. You ready for this? Here's my analysis. I don't give a fucking shit. I don't give a fucking shit. So yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fucking shit. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. Oh God. Oh God. Add it to the list, man. Add it to the list, bro. Add it to the list. I don't care. So I don't care what they're gonna do in the first quarter. Dallas is in, I want to say, the top right now in opponents' points per game in the first quarter, right? OKC, not so much. Looking at the notes here, Dallas first quarter ATS, they are 7-3 in their last 10. OKC is 5-5, so that may give you a little concern. But what Dallas's points and the points that they are scoring in the first quarter. The points that OKC is allowing in the first quarter is like night and day. The points that Dallas is allowing their opponents to score in the first quarter, they're top in the league, right? You look at the body of work that they've recently done, they've held teams under 20 points. They're averaging 23 points. They're averaging 23 points. So if this is a game that's going to get away, we know that OKC does cover spreads. You're leaving a lot of responsibility to Josh Giddey to set the tone and pace in this game, which in my opinion is not going to work. I do like Dallas -4 first quarter. I've already taken it, and that is my I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is.
So you got to play that one more time.
You ready for this? Here's my analysis. I don't give a fucking shit. I don't give a fucking shit. So yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fucking shit. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is.
Okay.
Hey, Manny, you know what? Shout out to Jose, because I like that he even gave me the headline in Laker colors. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Jose, you're the man for that one. I appreciate it.
Mavs first quarter -4. We can get you very low VIG -102 over at Pinnacle. I don't give a shit what the spread is. There we go. Locked in. Mavs first quarter -4 at -102 to take care of business against the Thunder early. Let's move on to a game I came so close to betting but did not, and it's now at +120 now, this Nuggets spot. So still readily available, and Dan Kelly is on the Nuggets +3, and I can't quite fathom what the move was about, and that's why I wanted to talk it out, and let's see who knows what this move's about. Denver Nuggets 28-21, 15-12 on the road to Utah Jazz, 30-21, 15-10 at home at Vivint Arena, Salt Lake City, Utah. Denver 4-1 over their past 5, fourth in pace at 100.90 possessions a game, while Utah is losing. They're 0-5 over the past 5, 27th in pace, 95.60 possessions a game. But the misery in the losing is longer than that. 11 of their past 13 games they have lost. Let's take a look at the Action Network and see what they're giving us here for the market movement. We have this total opening up at 222, now 223.5 from a spread perspective. We have Jazz -2, and now we have 2.5 or 3. I don't see 3.5s. Oh, of course I don't see 3.5s on the board because it's gone up to 3 at Bet3. 5, 2.5 now at Pinnacle. Okay, so that makes sense here. Let's take a look at where the cash lies. You have 54% of the tickets and 81% of the cash on the Nuggets. So why does it move a point towards the Jazz? It's confusing. 60% of tickets, 69% of cash on the under, and yet it's gone up a point or a point and a half. So mixed messages. Want to talk this out. Nuggets are on the second half of a back-to-back after having their 5-game winning streak snapped in a 130-115 loss at Minnesota last night. Jazz coming off their 5th straight loss, 126-106. Give them 11, as I said. Joe Ingles, say it ain't so, slow-mo Joe.
Mm-hmm.
No contract next year, and now the torn left ACL and tears in his eyes. And,
man.
And then I was like, okay, so God, he's been really fun to watch, Slow-Mo Joe, and he's a hell of a basketball player and a team player, and they love him, and he's tough, and he's
a tough brother, man.
Yeah, he's just a quality guy with an expiring $13 million contract, which will definitely be used in a trade to open up some room for them. So it's sad. So he is in tears in the locker room. And I don't know if this Jazz team is going to step up with the players available. So you have no Donovan Mitchell with a concussion. You have no Rudy Gobert with a calf muscle. Daniel House Jr. was just put into COVID protocol. Hassan Whiteside and Trent Forrest are questionable. I'm guessing Whiteside is going to play. That could be the only answer why it moves. But does this team have the heart to step up for Ingles' injury? Because generally in sports, in sports gambling, we expect the team to step up at least at first after a really tough injury to watch. And I don't know if it happens here. So I can't wait to hear your breakdown. Take it away. Nuggets, Jazz.
Yeah. I don't want any smoke in this game. I don't give a shit about this game. But there are some things that you can look at. It's funny that we still don't have any type of injury report from Denver. It hasn't been submitted yet, right? So we're seeing what Utah has, but nothing with Denver. I would think that Denver would want to get this game and get it back, right, from their loss last night, right? But do we want to bet on a squad that could lose like they lost to Minnesota? Minnesota was on fire. And like I said earlier, that score is very, very deceptive, right? It was very close in the first quarter. And then after that, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. It was a wrap. Minnesota had their fucking number, and they were shooting threes out of the building. They couldn't get it back. Denver should want to play everyone to win a game that they should have kind of beat Minnesota in yesterday. But it's just very, very suspicious to me that the line is what it is, and it keeps going the opposite direction. I don't want to play Denver off a back-to-back, but you don't even want to play the Jazz either. So if you're looking at this game, it should be a Denver win here. But is there somebody that's going to sit that we don't know about? Is there like some late time shenanigans or, you know, some last minute fuck shit that's going to happen that's going to make you be like, okay, who just sat, right? Because the line looks like it's preparing itself for somebody to either sit, or they just think that this is a gimme. Utah should get up here and get them because Denver's on a back-to-back. So this isn't a game I wanted any smoke in whatsoever. The last two games they played, I mean, Utah got them both times, man. Mm-hmm. Utah got them both times already. So maybe it's like the type of schemes that they run, that this is a perfect team for Utah to play against because they should get them regardless of who's out there on the court. I don't care. If Joker doesn't play, then that explains the line. Mm-hmm. That explains it, right? But Joker, is he the type of guy who sits after a loss like this? Like, I mean, he wasn't hurt. I mean, Minnesota just shot them out of the fucking building. So I believe here, this is a game that I wouldn't want to get involved in. And my main reason really for not getting involved in it is, to your man Puzzler's point, this would be a Jekyll and Hyde team here. How is this the same team that went to Milwaukee and put up 136 on them, bro? And then you go to Minnesota, not a back-to-back travel. I mean, you have a day's rest and you get spanked out the building and they put up a $130 on you. So because of that, I'm off this game. There isn't a competitive edge I have here at all. I don't give a shit about this game.
See, I was on the Wolves yesterday, and
yeah,
I guess from a success and gambling perspective, I probably should have waited for D'Angelo Russell to be announced out.
To get a better number?
To get a better number. But in my head, I had you saying, I don't give a fucking shit.
Yeah, man.
Because we've had such enormous success fading teams who are coming off a spectacular game and backing teams who are coming off a bad game. And here are the Nuggets coming off a bad game, but I think Joe Jurkovic is right. So would you say, for those of us who want the Nuggets, we should wait until Jurkovic is definitely in?
If you want the Nuggets, God, this is another game, honestly, that if you're going to take the Nuggets, don't take the number, just take the money line. You know, whatever your unit is, split it in half and put it on the money line. Right? Get a better number, get a little more money out of it. Get plus money here. But if Joker sits, you best believe that's going to get to, maybe 4.5. I mean, he's worth a point and a half. But it won't go by that much because I believe that this spread at -3.5, or if you're even getting a -4, is possibly already, put into the number, right? Maybe that number is already showing that Joker may not play. I'll tell you this, though. I might be decent at picking sides, but like deciding if people is going to fucking play, man, I'm terrible at, right? I said James Harden wasn't going to play yesterday. So yeah, it's one of these things to where that Joker not playing could possibly be worked into the number already. But for this to be at -2 and now we're already at -3.5, it just doesn't make sense. So I'm off it.
Yeah, because he was questionable yesterday with the sore toe.
Yeah. And with big guys, that's one thing you don't want. I mean, a toe is a toe. Jimmy Butler been playing. He played triple overtime game with a bad toe, right? These big boys, you can't really do that. So I don't know. I don't know. This is, if you're going to play, with me personally, what I would do is I wouldn't take the points because I don't think this is going to be a close game. The last two games they played, 125 to 102, Utah. That was on the 16th of last month, right?
Mhm.
Then on the 5th of that same month, last month, Utah 115 to 109. So is this going to be a 3-point game? No. So if you believe that all the set players that Jazz has right, and Denver being the better team, but still coming off a back-to-back travel at that, which is the worst spot, then go ahead and take Jazz. But if you do believe that Denver Nuggets is the better team, take the money line, take your unit, split it in half, play half a unit on the money line. That way, if you lose this outright, then you haven't lost a full unit. You just lost half a unit, So
I feel you. Just another sign of how special this chat is and why, I'm so inspired and get so excited to work with everybody every day. Ryan Kozlowski asked Dan a question. Dan went and ran it, of course, in his database. And so going back 8 years, but leaving out the bubble, road teams' second game of all back-to-backs against the spread are 692 and 695.
Wow.
And then he says line makers know what they are
Yep.
doing.
So if you like Denver, maybe take them early. Maybe take them early. Take them money line early, first half money line. It's like I said, this is one of those things that there's so many moving parts, right? Utah Jazz is playing with a decimated squad, but like we've always said, these guys are professionals. So that would just really pretty much put my theory to rest here about taking half a unit and playing Denver Nuggets money line, because the numbers just say that they're under 500 money line back-to-back road games. So
I like the breakdown, and I think that I'm going to probably just pause here. I don't mind, like, if Jokic is announced in and I get even money, just knowing that he's in instead of the sheer fury I'll have if I make this bet and he's not in. I'm thinking about having patience here. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. The only bet I have made, I'm on the Kings +4 at -110. That hasn't moved since this morning. Brooklyn Nets 29 and 20, 7 on the road. Kings 18 and 34, 12 and 16 at home. Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. Both teams are 0-5 over their past 5. Brooklyn's lost 5 straight, and the Kings, I believe, have lost 6 in a row. I believe I'll go over that here in a second. 11th and 12th in pace, respectively. So playing around the same pace, 98.7, 98.6 possessions a game for each team. Let's see what the market has done here. Open at 4, still at 4. And this 4.5 that's being held by BetMGM was there, so that hasn't moved either. From a total spot, we have opening up at 225.5 and a shot all the way up to 231.5. Vitalis on the other side. He's on the Nets -3. Don't like being on the other side as you. Yeah. Vitalis, let's talk this. Oh, let's see where the cash is here. We have. Sorry, here we go. There's 5,951 tickets in, and everyone's on Brooklyn. 81% of the tickets, 87% of the cash, and then 38% of the tickets on the over, 63% of the cash. When I tweeted this out, I immediately got people saying, "Oh, I'm going to be on the side. I'm going to be on their side." Now, I expected that, but I didn't. I was fine getting it in at +4 because I don't know if Harden's going to play. Is Kyrie comfortable playing back-to-backs right now? Is he? Because he's barely played this year. I mean, is his legs going to be ready to go? I don't know. And that's why I'd rather, if I'm going up against the Nets in a back-to-back or going up against the Mavericks in a back-to-back, or is there certain teams where I would prefer to get it in early? And, we destroyed the line move against the Warriors in the back-to-back. There's another example. I know it didn't work for us, but we got in at +2.5, and it was -5.5, and I probably should have gone for the middle. But it looked great. But I digress. Brooklyn second half back-to-back after losing their 5th straight game, 121-111. Phoenix, no KD, no Joe Harris, no LaMarcus Aldridge. They've opened up this 5-game swing. They've lost to Golden State and Phoenix. And now they play a much easier team. Harden came back from a 2-game absence, hamstring and hand injuries. 6 for 19 from the field. He didn't look very good. And Nash says he's got his fingers crossed for Harden's availability for the rest of the trip. When you see a president, like when you see Barack start his first year as president, and, he's a basketball player. I mean, he's a smoker, but he's a basketball player. And then you see him 8 years later, and you're like, what happened? You've aged 25 years. Every president does that. They all have aged 25 years when they're in their 8 years. Steve Nash is going to age 25 years coaching this basketball team. I don't know if there's a more difficult situation that a coach has been in here. So 9th appearance for Kyrie Irving. He goes for 26. They're 4-5 with Kyrie in the lineup. Sacramento comes in off their 7th straight loss, 116-96 at the Knicks on Monday. Kings returned home from that 0-5 trip, but they played tough in some of the spots. They barely lost to the Bucks and the Sixers, and then they got destroyed by the Celtics, Hawks, and Knicks. Marvin Bagley sprained ankle. He's already ruled out for this game. De'Aaron Fox could come back. That was another part of me trying to get in early. Although if he does come back, I don't know, Halliburton's been very good, and you can mess up rhythm. I talked too long. We want to hear you break this down. Take it away here, Nets Kings.
I don't give a shit about this game. You've done all the talking. I really don't.
Works, man.
Seriously, I mean, I know it's a lot of passes here on it, but I mean, I'm not playing this fucking game. I'm not playing this game at all, right? I mean, Brooklyn is just a complete dumpster fire right now. Right. I think Kyrie even said something to where he's believing that this team is going to get back to their regular form. I'm paraphrasing, but something to that manner. I don't give a shit about this game. I wouldn't be surprised if Sacramento just mopped them. Right. Just mopped them. Brooklyn's off a back-to-back. Remember, Jimmy, when Kyrie was being implemented back in, remember I said, like, how does a team adjust where you have a player that comes in and plays one game, right? Plays a couple games, and then they go back home. He can't play. I'm like, it's just too much back and forth. I've bet on the Brooklyn Nets maybe 2 or 3 times, right? But this is not a game that I have any interest in. I don't like the Sacramento Kings. I definitely need to know what's going on with Fox. There are some player props there that you could bet on. I'm not allowed to say them. But there are some, what I mean by I'm not allowed to say them is I'm not personally going to be playing them. But player props are the way to go with the Sacramento Kings, and maybe you could do the same for the Brooklyn Nets. Maybe look at Kyrie's points that he's giving you in the game. He's been doing all right with his points. Those might be juiced. But as far as trying to get an advantage with Brooklyn, man, I mean, both of these teams are on losing streaks. Both of them. Brooklyn. Sheesh. I mean, have you seen this before? 2, 4, 5 game losing streak for Brooklyn, right? Sacramento, 2, 4, 6, 7. So like you've said already, man, one of these teams have to win, but at the same token, I just don't think that I would want to invest my money in any of these teams right now without having some type of advantage. So the right side, in my opinion, I think Sacramento can go out here and get it done because of a back-to-back. Once again, this would be a back-to-back travel, right? So they lost against Phoenix. Not a long travel, but it's still travel. And then Brooklyn goes up to play Sacramento and NorCal. So, Sacramento should get it done. They should get it done. But at the same time, man, you still have Harden and Kyrie, who are arguably some of the better or not best players at their position in the league this year. So it's not something that I want to get involved in. I didn't play it. Not playing, man. Fuck this game.
The way I ended with this and why I pulled the trigger, and I know that some people think, why would you bother betting on shit teams? And I just try to find angles here. With Claxton, and I'm just talking like Von Polo disagreeing with making this move, and I love Von Polo, love capping with him, but I just looking for angles. And Rashawn Holmes and Harrison Barnes, how are they not going to have a big game against Claxton and Edwards and Blake Griffin?
Those are the props I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm saying. So Jimmy, we could talk about size and totals, right? But maybe this is me also trying to move over to the prop side, right? And it's all about matchups. And so if you yourself have a feeling that Rashawn Holmes is going to feast on the boards because Nick is just tall and lanky, right? You could just push him around, right? Then look at some props on the Sacramento side as far as boards, maybe assists and points. They're out there. Out there. It's just a matter of trying to find the right spot. But I would be more leaned to playing props this game versus sides or totals.
What an interesting idea by Leonard. I never thought of, but should have thought of. Said, I think the Nets could very well be playing for the 6th seed. Being on the road in the playoffs will give them more games with Kyrie on the floor. Just a theory. You know what? We talk about how important it is to track all your action. I've tracked props for me for long enough, and it's
Yeah.
just not a positive ROI. And
I hear you.
I want to gamble so badly, and if I open it up, I'll just start betting on. Like I've just got to just focus. And I know my record maybe this year is not an example, but I'm gonna end up in the black, and I got it. But you're right. It'd be Rashawn Holmes. It'd be Rashawn Holmes props without a doubt. Okay, let's move. And then Jared TG says, I like Barnes. Holmes is kind of Halliburton assists always live. Okay, we move on to the last game on the board here. Thank you guys for rolling with us. The final game, and our man Derl had hit 16 straight spread bets to a loss on the Friday show at the very end of the card on the Timberwolves first quarter. So he said 16 of his last 17. Portland Trailblazers 21-30, 7-17 on the road at LA Lakers 24-27, 15-12 at home. We're at Crypto Arena in LA or Inglewood, California. Portland 1-4 over their past 5, 14th, 98.5 possessions a game. Lakers 1-4, 16th in pace at 98.30 possessions a game. And Action Network tells us that this total opened up at 222. It's now at 223.5. And on the spread, let's move this here. On the spread, we have 3.5s. Only one book has moved it to 4. So Lakers open up as 3.5 point favorites. Points bet has moved it to 4. All the other books have 3.5. When we go over to the cash in this spot, 5,939 tickets. 77% of the tickets on the Lakers, 95% of the cash, but we don't really see the market moving. I mean, I think if you had Lakers money in right now, you'd hope to see a 4 or 4.5 and then a 5. 83% of tickets on the over, 89% of cash on the over, and we've seen that go to 223.5. Portland comes in off their second straight loss, 98-81 at OKC on Monday night. Hard to believe that they would lose so badly. They were up 31-19 after the first quarter, which we've seen Darryl cash Blazers early often on the show. With Thunder without Shea, and the Blazers score 30 points over the second and third quarter. I mean, just unbelievable. Damian Lillard, maybe a month and a half or 2 months away. I mean, who knows? I won't be evaluated again until later in February. Cody Zeller, Larry Nance out with knee injuries. Nazir Little done for the year. Lakers have lost 3 straight, all without LeBron. They finished their road trip with a 129-121 loss to Atlanta on Sunday. Malik Monk running 33 points, 10 boards. Looks very good out there. AD, 27 points, but just 5 boards. And Davis and James have played together once since December 19th. And they were 16-4 before Davis went down. They're 24-27 now, 9th in the Western Conference heading into play yesterday. Take it away here, Darryl. Blazers, Lakers.
Yeah, I've already jumped on it. The play is definitely Portland first quarter here. Portland first quarter is the play. If you looked at their record in the last 10, they are on fire, man. 9-1 in their last 10 first quarter ATS. They are averaging more points in their first quarter in the last 3 than their season average. Last 3 right now, Portland is averaging 32 points a game to their season average of 26.9. Lakers last 3 averaging 25 points a game, 25.3 points a game to their season total of 27.5, right? Hello, Zinsky. But also, just look at their last game that they played, man. LA put up 33 points in that first quarter. So even when the Lakers put up a high total amount or high number in their first quarter, it still doesn't help their average over the last 3. You are seeing Portland come out to a fast start. And why I like this play also is because Portland's not really strong in the middle. So you can bring AD out. It's not like they have a dominant big man, you know? So they're going to be more efficient on the outside. And that's just my opinion. So they're going to be fast, not play any defense, and be more efficient on the outside versus trying to work the ball in the middle to where AD can just smash you in the paint, right? He's going to block your shot and all that. So I'm thinking here, even with LeBron playing, the last game they played, I believe, let me make sure I'm right, Portland even got him in the last game, first quarter. I'm looking.
Is it confirmed that LeBron's in?
Yeah. Okay. So Portland, that's right. They didn't get him in the first quarter. That was 48-23. They lost that game.
Oh, that's Wednesday's game. Sorry.
But yeah, at this level here, I'm comfortable. Yeah, it was the game before that. Yeah, it was the game before that. I'm sorry. So this is the 3rd game they've played this year. Lakers got him the last game, but the game before that on November 6th, Portland put up 36 and the Lakers put up 14. Right? So if you look at Blazers away and what they do in the first quarter and then the last body of work, and you know me, man, I'm a Laker fan. So for me to tell you how this game is going to go, I just believe that Portland is going to go on to a fast start. It's not saying that they're going to hold LA, right? But they can at least do enough to not even cover that 1 point. So I've already got Portland +1 first quarter. That is a good look for me. I do like that look. Wouldn't be surprised if they were winning the first quarter just based upon the pace and how LA plays in the first quarter. Those numbers are like night and day.
Well, let's lock that in for you here. First quarter. Ooh, we can get you +1.5.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hook. That's -112, but
Yeah,
that's not too pricey. You want that?
I like that. Hey, whoa. It's -112?
Yeah.
No, just give me what I played then. Give me the one.
All right, let's do that here. So let me just shop around very quickly. That's the last game here on the card. We're going to review all of Darryl's action. Let's see here. Quarters. Let's go to spread. Wow. Can't do it there. Let's +1 is -114 at Circa. Let's see. I get you the +1 at, here we go, -102 at Pinnacle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right, +1 at -102 at Pinnacle. So another example of Derl and Maxwell running so well, doing whatever it takes to keep the VIG down if they're going to be making volume action. Mississippi Kid says big play for me. Torrey Craig over 4.5 boards for Mississippi Kid. +1 at -105 at Bookmaker. Thank you, Billy. And over 58 total first quarter. So just to actually quickly, before we move on from this game here fully, do you agree with this market move to the over? Is there, I mean, because at first it sounded like that there was a bit of a consensus there, and then you started talking about AD, being a problem in the paint, and that's, I mean, isn't that the only thing that we can count on from Portland is Nurkic being in the paint? Like, what do you think about this total?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is Nurkic your leading scorer on that squad? Like, is he the guy you go through? No, it's the backcourt, right? It's not the front court.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be Anthony Simons. You did lose Nasir Little, I believe, as a wing. I mean, personally, man, I mean, just when you think Nurkic, you don't think he's going to be the one to have the most dominant game on that team. That team is going to be ran through the backcourt. So, I mean, Nurkic can do his job and just be a big man and just try to stop AD, but he's not. But what, are you going to have AD come out and play the perimeter? Like, no, he's just going to protect the boards, block shots. That's what he's going to do. He's going to make his shots. Nurkic is not stopping him. But you don't have Nurkic playing an outside game. So if you're going to try to feed it through Nurkic, he's going to stop Nurkic, which means you have to kick it back out and have to shoot outside shots, which is what they've been doing already. So
very, 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 what a fun card to cap, but a lot of moving parts and tricky. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to end up with. Let's review action from Darryl and myself. Again, that +4, I came close to betting, and I don't want the Magic on the second half of a back-to-back with travel and 1-9, but
yeah,
don't free play, I would for sure. And I understand why it's moved to 3.5 with the injuries that the Pacers are facing, but I can't do it. Wizards, Sixers, nothing for either of us. Derl gets his card started with the Hornets first quarter +2 at -106. Then he moves on the Grizzlies -4 at -105. Ron Crawford's NBA spreadsheet play today is Memphis -3.5. Dan Kelly's on the Cavs first quarter -1 and Denver +3. We have not moved on that Cavs Rockets game. Then I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is play today is Mavs first quarter -4. They're at home against Oklahoma City Thunder. Then the Nuggets has all the question marks around it. I need Jokic in this game. And I guess the foot injury is – I mean, he only played 30 minutes last night. But I just can't move on it until I know. So I'm not going to at this point. But that is – I expect to make that a bet. Kings +4 -110 is the only move I made. I don't know how Holmes and Barnes don't dominate this basketball game. Now, look,
props, man.
Obviously Harden and Kyrie can do damage, and they're great basketball players. But, I mean, if you can dominate the paint, and it's the second half of a back-to-back, and Kyrie's played, 9 games this year, and he's supposed to be effective on the second half of back-to-back, and Harden's hurting. I don't know. We'll see. We will see in that spot. Then Derl has the Blazers +1 at -1 or at -102. Derl +1 at -102. And what a run you are on, Derl, my man. Thank you so much for hanging with us, taking the time to break down each and every game. Can't wait to have you back in action on Friday. Follow our man on Twitter. I'm going to pop it up here so that you can follow. Everybody can follow. It's Derl. Derl, any last words for these cappers, great cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, man. As always, meeting new guys every day, it seems like. But I appreciate you all. Didn't get a chance to interact with y'all in the chat today. So, Sam, James S, man, really appreciate y'all. And, when you start naming names, you get in trouble because there are people who respect you and reach out to you. So everybody who has reached out to me, all of y'all, man, all of y'all, I appreciate you. I appreciate you 1,000%. Jimmy, let's have a great day in ball today, brother, and I will see you on Friday.
I look very much forward to it. There he is. It's Derl in the house. So let's review all of our action, and then palms are leaking. Let's get that money to roll in. It was a winning day yesterday, but NHL hurt me. So I would like to continue the run in NBA, and I want to turn it around in NHL. And, we have Dan Kelly adding another play. Second quarter, Portland +1. All right, let's move that there. Second quarter, Portland +1. Thank you for sharing that with us, Dan Kelly. All right, let's review action. We have 2 additions from Mr. Gogster. Let's move over to what his plan is here. Sorry, let me just pull it up. He had 5 bets that he made last night, and then he added 2 spots. So here we go. Gogster is on the Edmonton, Washington over 6 and -115. We both moved on that last night, and it had moved to 6.5 at +105. I'd love to see it at 6.5 at like even money. Oh, it's back to 6. But the Oilers are now the favorite at -115. So we've beaten that move from 30 cents. Now, we beat a lot of moves by over 30 cents on favorites. You get in the favorite at -180. We get the puck drop, and he's we beat a favorite line. It was a -1, and I pushed it by 95 cents last week. And I didn't even get the win on the -1. It was a push. But here, seeing a 30-cent move from +115 to -115 is legitimately interesting. Gogster moved on the Oilers first period at +103. He's also on the Islanders in regulation, and he's all over the Red Wings. First period money line +111, raised to 2 goals at +120, and raised to 3 goals at +180. Then what did he add? He had one more spot, and that was the Blackhawks team total over 2.5 at -118. I'm not adding anything. I have 4 bets on today's NHL card, and that will be it for me. The late addition was the Islanders -1, and I got the -112 on it instead of the even money that I could have got last night. I took the Islanders early. Probably didn't need to do it that early. I got the Wild early, and I didn't have to do it that early. I got +104 on the -1, so I beat that market move by a little bit. I got Oilers +115 and Edmonton, Washington over 6 at -115. And then college basketball, as you guys know, we're doing this new system, and it's really working, giving the chat the ability to ask about any games they want. But for me, when we were picking 4 games, I would cap those games. And then if my capping correlated with Max's capping, I would move on it. I've made a point that if I don't have a hand in the handicapping, I'm not going to bet it. So I haven't made a college basketball bet because we're going over 25 games. And then now what I could do is take what Max has done and then go cap them for the next couple hours. So I shouldn't just write it off not betting, but right now I haven't been making moves. Max is running white hot right now on the show, and he's added 6 bets. Wisconsin team total over 64.5 at -107. Missouri first half money line at +158. Stony Brook alternate line -9.5 at +125. Abilene Christian team total over 77.5 at -114. Miami alternate line -7 at +125. Citadel, the Citadel game first half over 71.5 at -107 at Circa. Anything on this 3 p.m. game? Yeah, that's the Missouri spot, right? That's refresh my memory. Is that the I think that's the spot for the Missouri game. Let's just move here quickly. Yes, so he's on the first half money line on Missouri. Joe Pappas is on Wild money line, Oilers money line, Islanders money line. I hope you get paid tonight, Joe, because that'll be good for me. And I've not been good in NHL this year, and it's really keeping me up at night. So I hope I change that. Thank you guys all for all the insights, the humor, everything you bring to the show. Big happy birthday to Crystal Warren, Dan Bonner, Joe Pappas, Dav Fenn, Nuke Worker. Nuke Worker, just 7 more days until he retires from Darlington Nuclear. You've earned all this, and you have so much life ahead of you. And that's the great thing about retiring at a young age, is that you have so much life ahead of you. So exciting, Nuke Worker. C. James, Billy Friedrich, Rance, Dav Fenn, Razor, Sharp Picks, and now the golf show. The golf show is coming on right now, right after this. The PGA golf show coming on right after this. On behalf of my producer on the ones and twos, Jose Bouquet, who's done such incredible work on the show and making it look so good. We love you, Jose. On behalf of Jeff Slaughter and all of us at Pop Sports Radio, thank you guys so much for watching. Let's get that cash. Enjoy the PGA show. Keep eating. Let's run hot, baby. Leche. Hey, those bookmakers.